The new year in World of Tanks is starting with a bang. Because very soon, something really extraordinary is coming. Meet the first new tech tree branch after Update 2.0. American Autocannon Medium Tanks. The new branch sprouts from the familiar T20 and includes 4 vehicles, topped by a Tier 11. The path to the branch's tip starts with the Ares 75. As with all vehicles in the branch, the number reflects the autocannon's caliber. This support tank will help you learn the basics of guns without reloading and with a thermal overheat control mechanic. As the tier increases, so does the combat power. The larger caliber of the Ares 85 lets it deliver on its potential more effectively. The Ares 90 raises the battle performance bar even higher. Its gun causes greater damage. The mobility is typical for medium tanks, and the armor, while not the most robust, can take a few hits. At the top of the tree is the Ares 90C. This tank combines top characteristics with high damage per minute and a fiery nature. And of course, like all Tier 11 vehicles, you can fundamentally improve it with the upgrade system. The main feature of all vehicles in the branch is guns of a higher caliber than those of Czechoslovakian autocannon tanks. The fire rate is lower, but the higher caliber lets you cause significantly more damage per shot. The American vehicles don't have the usual reloading system. At the start of battle, or when you change the shell type, a belt of the selected ammo is loaded. Afterward, you can fire as much as you like until the gun overheats or your ammo runs out. This mechanic lets you control the fire rate. In some combat situations, it's better to fire single shots, chipping away at your opponent's HP. In others, you can unleash a barrage of fire to cause maximum damage in the shortest time frame. The choice is yours. Another important feature of the American autocannon tanks is the new thermal overheat control mechanic. Each shot generates heat. The higher the temperature, the greater the dispersion. The gun starts to cool soon after you finish firing. If the temperature reaches a critical level, the gun locks and cannot be fired until it fully cools. One more trait of the whole branch is reserve tracks. If the main track is destroyed, the vehicle isn't stopped and can keep moving at a slower pace. To fully immobilize the tank, enemies need to destroy the reserve track too. This chassis feature helps you stay on the move, searching for new tactical opportunities. American autocannon tanks are for you if you like to control the rhythm of battle. The vehicles are perfect for flanking. And from long range, they provide good support to allies. Even if they don't penetrate, they have the enemy feeling on edge with constant pressure. Just remember to stay balanced and avoid the gun overheating. Choose your fire rate wisely. Don't take risks and keep an eye on the temperature, and high DPM is yours. As is the blast you'll have firing. Meet American medium tanks with autocannons. Stay in control, stay effective. The holidays are over, and the World of Tanks team is ready to present the large-scale update 2.1.1, which brings you new tanks and mechanics, improved Tier 11 vehicles, sound and interface updates, varied modes, and enjoyable rewards. Let's start with the hottest edition, the new branch of American Autocannon Medium Tanks. It sprouts from the T20 and includes 4 vehicles, topped by the Tier 11 Ares 90C. The newcomers differ from Czechoslovakian autocannon light tanks with a lower fire rate, but larger calibers and higher damage, as well as the unique thermal overheat control mechanic. These vehicles don't have the usual reloading system. At the start of battle or after you change the shell type, a belt of the selected ammo is loaded, which you can fire without stopping, only pausing to prevent the gun overheating. In some combat situations, it's better to fire single shots, while in others, you should unleash a barrage of fire to cause maximum damage in the shortest time frame. The main thing to remember is that the hotter the gun gets, the greater the dispersion. If it overheats, the lock system will kick in, and you'll need to wait until it fully cools. One more feature of these vehicles is reserve tracks. Thanks to these, you'll keep moving if your main track is destroyed. The American Autocannon medium tanks, topped by a Tier 11 vehicle, are for you if you like to control the rhythm of battle. But if you want to try some different gameplay, take a look at another 2 new Tier 11 vehicles. Let's start with the Japanese STK-2 heavy tank, which carries on the tradition of the Type 71. The new vehicle has great gun depression thanks to its hydro-pneumatic suspension, as well as good turret armor, high damage per minute, and active gun cooling mechanic. Thanks to the last one, the gun starts cooling immediately after a shot, and the accuracy is partially improved by the time it finishes reloading. When it is fully cooled, the dispersion is minimal, like that of the best snipers in the game. And after several shots, it goes to the level of classic heavy tanks and lets you fight comfortably in close combat. This makes the new Tier 11 Japanese STK-2 heavy tank effective from any range and in varied combat situations. The next Tier 11 vehicle is the Chinese PTZ-78 tank destroyer with solid fuel jet boosters. These turn the massive assault vehicle into an unpredictable and even more dangerous opponent. The shunting solid fuel boosters work independently of each other. Thanks to this, the PTZ-78 can make a bold attack or withdraw unexpectedly fast to defend itself. At the same time, when the vehicle is using the boosters, they don't stop at reversing. Strong frontal armor, a big HP pool, and a gun with good penetration and damage alongside the solid fuel boosters will help you fulfill the role of an assault TD with maximum efficiency. Another 6 Tier 11 vehicles will also suit their role on the battlefield better. These have received a number of changes based on the statistics we collected and your feedback. The ASXX-40T, Leopard 120, Object 432U, CS-67 Shakal, Hirschkäfer, and STRV-10712 have had their characteristics improved. They will be even more comfortable and effective to fight in. And now you can keep track of your achievements in combat on the battle results screen via the special Mission Progress tab. For instance, you can find out your progress in the new Battle Pass track. There's a legendary addition to the ranks of World of Tanks. In the new Battle Pass special chapter, expect nostalgic characters, cult quotes,
"Dead or alive, you're coming with me,"
and the shining armor of the new law enforcement defender, the OCP Peacekeeper, armed with a powerful gun that causes 440 HP of damage per shot. Important updates await you in the latest installment of Onslaught. You'll find expanded statistics in which you can see your progress for each day of the season. The Bond Shop has some additions: a new Tier 9 vehicle, the American LTC-2 light tank, as well as new improved equipment, the telescopic observation system, and tactical concealment net. Now you can head into battle with the Chinese 114 SP-2 tank destroyer with high alpha and a rotating turret. And you also have the opportunity to rent new vehicles: the Ho-Ri 3, Super Conqueror, and K-91. Erlenberg has been added to the map rotation, while Klondike temporarily leaves. Several maps have gotten selective improvements to make the competitive battles more dynamic and exciting. The audio design of Onslaught also continues to improve. The improved sound physics transmit the sound realistically, accounting for reflections on surfaces and bends of obstructions. Charge into battle and keep fighting for the main Onslaught reward: the Tier 10 Polish Ashbringer heavy tank with a unique style and a trained crew. And if you need a break from the tense battles, a few familiar modes await you in the new update. On February 2nd, Frontline will start in its familiar format, now with vehicle playlists available. Control your favorite Tier 8 vehicles and fight for valuable rewards on 3 epic maps. 2 arcade cabinet sub-modes also await: Snowballs, a fun firefight with sped-up vehicles, and Ice Age, with dynamic battles and dizzying skids on slippery maps. Have a blast and get rewards in the winter merriments. More good news. With the updates released, the opportunity to get the Outstanding Collector achievement remains in the game permanently. Collect all researchable vehicles from Tier 6 through 10 that were in the game before the release of Update 2.0 to get unique, honorable insignias. Log into the game to research new and improved vehicles, get rewards, and feel high-octane thrills in different modes. Let's battle!
Welcome to Media Break. Good evening, Delta City. Gangs are running wild as violence spreads through the streets. Officials assure citizens that Omni Consumer Products is working on a solution. We know how to deal with crime. The OCP Peacekeeper. Ready to know more?
All units, this is Reed. We have a 211 in progress, multiple armed suspects, active shooter situation. Move in now!
Murphy, get your metal ass over here!
RoboCop, OCP is sending you reinforcements.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Gifts, they're for dreamers. Deals, take the shot.
Hello gamers and welcome to the Surfshark Onslaught Legends Series Season 5, and today a new face on the broadcast. Hello Banter.
Hello there, it's nice to be here and I'm excited to see some good games today.
Obviously, before we jump back into the action, a quick shout out to our sponsor. Surfshark is the official sponsor of the Onslaught Legends Series League Season 5. We're very happy to have them supporting the tournament, of course, because they're contributing to the prize pool, so the players get to win even a little bit more. Surfshark is a VPN that helps keep your connection secure and private, whether you're gaming, traveling, or browsing online. It works on unlimited devices, which means you don't have to worry about phone, tablet, computer. One subscription for all. Covers it all, and it's very easy to use, exactly what gamers are looking for. Surfshark has prepared a special offer specifically for all of you guys at home watching the OLS. Just go to surfshark.com/OLS and use code OLS at the checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. You can find all the details via the clickable Surfshark banner on the official World of Tanks Twitch channel. Just scroll down a little bit. But now, let's get back to the action. What do you think so far of the OLS Banter? Any surprises?
A few. I mean, some of the teams are overperforming, some are underperforming. You can see it in some of the predictions, but I think it's been interesting. CTR have done some quite interesting things. We don't really feel that as a newly coming through team that they shouldn't be performing as well as they are, but they've been performing really well, and some roster changes. Obviously W gaining some players, they've also performed very well, so it's definitely been a good season to watch so far.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So to this week we have Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. The next week we have only Tuesday with a little bit of a break in between, but potentially some more Onslaught action, so keep your eyes tuned on the articles that may appear. The current prize pool, 47,000 euros, split between the regular season and the playoffs. What does this mean? Well, this season we've put a little bit more emphasis on the regular season, so getting first in there will net you a pretty decent share of the prize money.
Yeah, definitely. I'm getting jealous just looking at it. But, yeah.
Now, so far, you can at home also, of course, still increase those prize pool winnings with the base bundle, the advanced bundle, or the Oracle bundle. Now, the Oracle bundle is the one that is the interesting one. Predict correctly which team will win the Surfshark Onslaught Legends series, and you will get the upgraded style and badge. Of course, you are still having a little bit of time to decide who you want to go for until basically the playoff starts. The bundle will be available. Banter, if you had to pick a bundle team, which one would you pick?
Let's go with Lotus. I want to see more from Lotus, so I'll say Lotus.
Interesting. I mean, I somehow don't think that's gonna happen, but you know, willing to
believe.
Yeah,
I'm willing to believe. I give them a point in every prediction.
Token earnings, again, this week, 5 tokens per broadcast. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. 5 tokens each, but of course, keep the playoffs noted in your calendar. 5+5 and 5+5 is a lot of tokens, which will get you the bulk of the tokens that are needed to bring out that Yak Pounder, that KV-122, the Puddle, or the Styles, Premium Days, Consumables, or Reserves for everybody. There's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a lot to be won. Very nice tanks, very useful. Lots of credits there.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you don't like it, you can always sell it. So these are the standings after our initial 3 play days, with W and Mafia, Hit and Run, Cashback, and CTR all basically on top, 7 points each. Just a round difference of W won 1 more round, so they're on top of the leaderboard. But there's definitely a little bit of a separation between them and then the bottom half between Lotus, Weekend, and Vulgus, who look to battle it out for that position number 6.
Yeah, race to the top at the moment. I mean, again, some teams underperforming, some teams overperforming, and we'll have to see if today makes any big changes.
What would be your match of the day?
I think Mafia W but I also want to see CTR and Cashback. Actually, CTR have done some really interesting things in the last few days, so they're the ones to watch for me. I like the way they're playing. The style of play is very nice to watch.
Of course, the first match is important in its own regard, right? Because it's between two of the teams on the bottom half of the league. Weekend Lotus, whoever wins this one, preferably without a tiebreaker, will be taking a little bit of an advantage, right? Moving on, already having the direct head-to-head secured as well. So there's important. Yeah, CTR versus Cashback. It's going to be an interesting one as well. And Volgas, we've got to see if they can put up a fight, right?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a wet noodle season for them so far. I mean, they kind of just rolled over and showed the belly. We need to see a bit of fight, you know, a bit of teeth.
Yeah, it's indeed not going that well for them so far, but they still have a chance. However, we're starting off with Weekend versus Lotus. Both these teams desperate for the points.
Yeah, completely different. I mean, Lotus are underperforming based on the quality of the players they have, but Weekend are they're underperforming, and Weekend are definitely underperforming as well. Like they're a team we should be seeing consistently in top 5, and they're not at the moment. So they need to have a big change today. If they need these full points, not tiebreaker.
Yeah, they come in here, Lotus with big expectation, but so far it's CTR from the new teams that is the one actually performing, the one standing out as well. And of course Lotus wants to change that. I mean, you know, they haven't had really any easy opponents so far. And they did bring Mafia to a tiebreaker.
Yeah, true. I mean, but if you look at this team, right? Twist, Sokol, Toxic, Jordan, like these are old Goodnight Nami team, a team that performed massively well in 15v15 and 7v7 back in the day. So, at least for me, they're the team where in every prediction I gave them minimum 1 point, but they've always been 3-0'd. Like I feel like we need to see more from them at the moment.
I feel like Weekend is missing Sunshine. I mean, it was a big part of them last season, but so far I haven't seen him play. Maybe they changed the roster a little bit because I haven't seen him in a single battle yet.
Yeah, I mean, but they I feel like they overperform where there was that season where they started playing just hyper aggressive strategies, and it was just catching people out every single time. But I feel like most of the teams have kind of adjusted now, and they're kind of ready for that aggression, and so they're kind of a bit halted. They need to find a rhythm, a style of play where they can actually perform, and it just hasn't happened this season. But we need to see if they can actually find what they want to do.
I mean, from the bottom 3 teams, you would expect Weekend to be the one that is most likely to get out of the slump, right, and recover.
Yeah, I mean, it was said they want to be a top 3 team, right? Right now they're a bottom 3 team, so...
I mean, last season they ended up top 3 after beating Cashback, but this season so far, it's looking real tough.
But it was, as I said, that they kind of overperformed playing those hyper-aggressive strats. And now it just kind of is tapered off where it's not really happening for them anymore, and we need to see big changes, especially against Lotus. They kind of need these 3 points if they want to be where they want to be.
I mean, these 3 points would already give them at least something, right? Because they haven't won anything yet. And Pilsen and Tundra as the map pool. We haven't seen that much Tundra yet, right?
Yeah, it's kind of one of the newer-ish maps in OLS competitive. So people tend to ban the maps that they don't play as often. But seeing it here, and I think it's quite an interesting map. It's got quite a nice dynamic of strike position, open ground, the caps in a not that relevant place, but it's still an interesting map to watch.
I mean, we saw CTR play the cap once, which was already very, very weird to see, right?
Yeah, and that wasn't great. But it's quite difficult to play the cap, just obviously because of the bridge, and it's underneath. It's in the middle of the map on low ground, so it's not really doable. And the map is so small, you can't go for a fast cap strategy. Like, decaps are always an option, so it's...
Yeah, and the double strike as well is a possibility, so gotta watch out for that.
Yep.
But Pilsen is, I guess, the one where we could see the difference being made between these two. But so far, we got to really see which one of these is actually able to get out of the slump they're in. And these 3 points would be crucial, because then, you know, for Weekend it's about beating Volgas, which I think they haven't played yet. And once they do that, they will make it to stage 2. But for them, you know, like even thinking about making it to stage 2, it's like they want to be a playoffs team. They want to be top 3, you know, so
exactly.
they're quite far away from that right now.
Yeah. What do you think about Runeberg as tiebreaker? I mean, does the side actually made it a few times? I don't see a massive difference in if the side plays an effect. It's obviously a very, very slow map. It's always been, regardless of the format, because of just the way the map is formed. It's a lot of lanes, so it's very difficult to make that initial push. But what do you think about that as tiebreaker?
Talking to some of the players, they said South has an advantage. Has a bit better access to the one-line strike as well. Where North is more the team that orientates themselves towards the field in the beginning. Kind of like you're used to. Like North has better field access, but South a bit better for everything else.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still some interesting maps. Obviously, we not got the standard maps of like Cliff Himmels or anything like this, but let's have a look at the lineups.
Lineups number 1, Lotus, double push B, that's weekend. Weekend, BZ, IS4, 4-3U, double push B, an E4, and an RHM.
Yeah, and Lotus with a Type, K91, double 430U, Foch B, E4, and a Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Double 430U, that's quite a... not A50Ms this time.
I mean, the 430Us have the lower profile and the better camo, so for that field they stick out a bit less on different angles, right?
Yeah, on the coal piles you can sit a little bit safer, but from what you make up in low profile, you kind of lose on that gun depression when you're making the peaks. So you can see Weekend in the beginning just reversing so they don't get caught by the strike, only one tank seen, oh, 2 tanks actually, Flash and Lekak in the E4.
So far nothing too special though. Trash Panda starting to take the strike on 1-2 line. Weekend with those double 430Us are with that 430U is of course moving, no, it's Lotus with the double 430U is of course moving towards the field. That's where they are meant to be played. The K91, very standard for K2 to get better reset angles. But neither team, I mean Flash, solo camping is not working on this map.
No, definitely not. I mean, the K91, I do like the K91 in that position. You have so much DPM, low camo, you generate strikes with your shots. Like, even one cap in this situation where Flash is, I just don't think it's productive for anything, to be honest. Lotus do have some nice field positions though. Foch on the 0 line, 430, the Botsik took the strike, so next it'll be the 430 who takes it, but no middle presence actually.
Yeah, nobody going for that 4-5 line strike. Double cap now by Trash Panda and Flash. That's a bit better, of course, because the strikes that Lotus control currently not enough to deny both of those positions. Trash Panda hidden behind that RoboCop. The only thing that can reset them is the strike, and of course the K91 doesn't have one yet. Jordan, you know, it's in a lot of games we see the game almost coming down to does the K91 have a reset or not with a strike. Flash takes a peek from Sokol, resets with HE, so Lotus currently managing it. And now full rotation back towards 1-2 line from Lotus.
It's a bold one to take a full rotation when you have such a kind of light lineup from Lotus. I mean, we'll have to see if it works out. The Type is coming close just for those emergency decaps, but Trash Panda's leaving already, and I feel like it seems Weekend is smelling this a little bit.
I mean, they do with Trash Panda back off, which is a really good rotation because, you know, you don't want to get caught, but at the same time they still have that Foch B and E1 and the IS4 on the cap.
Yeah, it's quite bad timing by Hellrap actually. If they decide to push him now, he's a bit isolated, there's minimal support, only really Flash can give some shots, but this is still going to be a difficult push by Lotus with their little bit lighter lineup. With the 430 being spotted, it should do some alarm bells for Weekend to make that rotation.
Jordan finds a shot on Evil, who Botsik spots out. Trash Panda uses the plane and spots out the RHM in return. Tarks now coming in with Tuka on towards Flash. He's getting pincered. 2 tanks from the front and then 2 more from behind. Botsian and Twist now moving in as well. Botsian taking a shot from the E4, but wants to clip out Flash in that IS4. He was left on that cap. He's going forward. The 4-3 and the BZ now coming in as well. Trash Panda taking the strike on the eastern side, but Flash is down. Botsik finds the kill, and now Hellrap getting pushed by that K91 of Jordan. He has one more shot, but Jordan is going to chew through this Foch B, so it's going to be 2 down for Weekend, with Lotus coming out with the counter push and finding success as well. There goes the Foch B, so 2 down. Tarks is the lowest one on the side of Lotus, down towards 1k, but if there's anything you want to take the damage, it is the Type 5 heavy of Tarks. But Weekend doing a good job of keeping even in HP, but the guns losing a Fush B is pretty bad.
I mean, it's catastrophic, to be honest. It's such a strange game by weekend. They had nobody spotting the 4 line, so the Tuka and Toxic just appeared in front of the IS-4, just as if by magic. And now that there's just quite an awkward situation where there's a 2-tank advantage, HP is in Lotus's favor as well. It's not looking great for weekend right now.
I think Weekend, with this spread across the map, have put themselves in real trouble. Twist now pushing in as well. Turks, Tuka, Potsians, they're all coming for Iset in the BZ-75. He's pretty dead. The BZ-75 doesn't have any DPM. On top of that, he got Amaract as well. Kano, the next one, so-called does fall against Raj Panda, but the last combat tanks for Weekend are about to go down. Evil with the Fush B, not even really in the fight. And it was a good repush from Lotus. They find success, they find 2 tanks, and they never really stop. And Weekend just cannot recover. That's, I guess, the downside of trying to cap and still holding field at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this wasn't anything crazy by Lotus, though. I just feel like this was a bit sloppy by Weekend. Nobody spotting the approach to the cap, so they snuck up on this IS-4. Tanks completely out of position. The Fosh also, that they tried to... It's like trying to stretch a gummy worm, and it just breaks in the middle, you know? They had tanks in E1, they had tanks in E0. No, A0, let's say. So they were just too split, didn't have the spotting angles to handle it, and it just kind of... It became a snowball, just one by one, just picking up those tanks. And it was nice. Perfectly fine and simple. Nothing crazy by Lotus, but they just kind of made it work very easily.
Neither the Type or the 432, I think, either was spotted for the push until they were basically in Flash's face. And, you know, bringing it back, unless you've got like E50Ms and Fush's Bs alive that can actually turn the game around when you have like another BZ behind it. Light, it's not great to hold it, but it's a good start from Lotus, and Weekend's troubles just seem to continue. They're playing a lot slower than they did last season, and so far it's not working for them.
No, not at all. I mean, I wouldn't say this was crazy by Lotus, though. I just feel that to make this work for Weekend, they have to trade Flash very well. If they're going to lose that IS-4, they have to trade for him, and they simply didn't. The guns weren't in position to focus them out, and we can see the damage here. The damage is just better on Lotus's side. It's more consistent, everyone over 2k, where half the team of Weekend are under 1k. Even those 430Us, the high DPM tanks. There's no reason a 430U should be dealing less than 2k, so... Not the best by Weekend, not by any means.
And, I mean, if they lose this match against Lotus, they're already going to be in...
dire straits.
Really dire straits, because at that point, Lotus is running away with it a little bit. They'll have that advantage, and then Weekend has to beat not only at least Volgas, but also, you know, other opponents. And even bigger issue would be for Weekend is that if Lotus win this, even in a tiebreaker, that would put them on 3 points already. So to get even, like if Lotus wins this without tiebreaker, Lotus is on 4 points. Weekend needs to win 2 matches more. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, it's crunch time. They're kind of, it becomes a little bit out of their hands. They need other teams to lose rather than them to win. And as well, this is one of the, I mean, we can argue here, probably Lotus and Vulgus are the 2 weakest seed teams on paper. And if you're losing to one of them when you have aspirations of a top 3 team, it's not great. And this really wasn't a special game. This was a simple rotation by Lotus. And you can see in the predictions, we've all kind of predicted 3-1. I mean, all our predictions are still alive, but you want to lose that one game when you're 2-0 up, not when when it's 0-0.
Prediction-wise, we all went for 3-1 with Weekend. So,
I mean, none of us will. If it's wrong, none of us gain points.
Yeah,
none of us lose
but
points.
you know, sometimes you know it's the early round they pick up, and then it all turns around back in your favor, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we haven't seen anything so far to indicate that there's going to be a big turnaround. They really need a good performance in this game, because in that previous game, it was almost too easy for Lotus. Just simple rotation, push, the isolated tank, minimal punishment. Like, we need to see if there's going to be some meat and potatoes in this stew.
Lineups. Lotus coming out, double type, double for 2U, double Fush B, and an IHM.
Yeah, on Weekend side, BZ, double T57, Type 5, double bat chat, and an E4. No light this time, and the double T57s and double bats quite interesting. A lot of clippers there. They need to make their shots count. It's quite an interesting contrast in lineups. Lotus going for the more burst with the 430s and the Foshers, and Weekend going for that T57 and bat chats, more clip potential. I mean, obviously both teams are burst, but it's a different style of play. I kind of like it.
Splitting up here in the beginning, trying to dodge a plane. Botsik puts his, what does he actually spot? He spots only Trash Panda, so very limited info with that plane, right? From Botsik, spots only one. BZ doesn't know that the majority is going towards the city, although they can predict it from the placement of the plane. But they also don't entirely know that there's no light. For all they know, there could be an EBR still.
Yeah, but the fact that they spotted a heavy going towards the field is quite telling, but I said getting punished here a bit more. Probably could have received a bit more for that actually, but Twist gets it in return, takes even more. Oh my god.
Twist there stopping to shoot, which means that Flash, Hellrap, and Lakrak are all ready to give it. And Twist down towards one shot. Really solid start there from Weekend. You could almost
Dead gunner as well.
Yeah, you could almost say that they should not let this slide. They have 7 combat tanks. Botsik's getting repushed as well on the field. They have everything going for them right now.
Yeah, but everything but triple strike though. That can be nasty. But Twist has healed the gunner. You can see the decap coming in. They're trying to use this meat, the Hellrap, to make the push, try and bait out the shots, find where the Foshes are, and I mean, there's not much response from Lotus at the moment. Not at all.
I mean, the 432 can't really peek anymore. Trashpana's taking the field with IZ. Tuka is forced to sit there and wait. I think Tarks even activated his ability by accident in the Fosh B.
Maybe for the quick rotation.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying when you do that in the Fosh B though. You have it,
Yeah.
you know, it's... Sometimes it happens though. The finger slips, good shot there from Erichem, good shot from Tuka as well. Trashpana taking some. But in return, I mean, still these types are just trading it out. Botsions against Hellrap, and Hellrap so far has a far superior angle in the 57 side. The clipper from behind as well. That's Evil 1.2 on Botsions, and now Hellrap will find the shot as well. That looks to be the second target here for the side of Lotus. That might just go down, but there's a Fosh B clipping out towards the side of Hellrap. You can see that now even the 430 peek and the strike coming out and will hit home on 2 as well. Hellrap down towards 695. Another strike coming. Botsions might even finish. A good move there from Lotus. They retaliate, they find the kill. They probably realize that Botsions will go down, and not just that, Jordan is dead as well. In the meantime, on the field, Tarks finding Trash Panda together with Botsik. The bad shot of Iset not really able to support at all, and Tarks will find the kill. Twist goes down. However, 3 tanks down for Weekend, only 2 for Lotus, simply because of that initial advantage of making the 430U a one-shot.
Yeah, making that 430U a one-shot was massive. But some small mistake coming out here. Lekak can maybe get found here. He drove into the building, so can't reverse. He's tracked. Sokol might ram him to try and reset the track, but unable. Could have taken more damage there, Lekak, but still playable for Lotus. It's not easy, but it's playable.
It's going to be hard though. I mean, they should have the lights still alive, but I said in a flanking position. Tuka also getting Kano in a flanking position. Getting shot by this bad shot on towards that 430U. Another gun down for Lotus now. Weekend find the shot on Dark Crossing. Good possibility for that at least, but Tuka, look at him, down towards the one shot as well in that 430U. Can't really escape any further.
No, he's completely done. I mean, all we need to do, if the TV7 doesn't get him, Lekak in the strike will get him, and it's kind of an inevitability here. The light, the solo endgame light is good, but it's not that good, and it's definitely going to be Weekend taking this round, bar a miracle. 3, 2, 1.
So, after Pilsen, we'll be all even.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of just a repeat of the previous game. Just isolating that singular tank in the strike from 2 angles. I kind of feel like I almost watched the same game twice. Just with a type instead of an IS-4 in the middle.
I mean, the initial damage was really good from Weekend.
It was very good. It was solid.
You know, I said wanted to go to E1, but I guess he was pretty happy with the fact that Swiss shot him twice, or tried to shoot him twice, and then ended up being in the open for everybody else.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure almost the entire team gave him at least one shot, so it was a nice planned opener, I'd say, to just counter that position in the beginning and make sure you get that initial advantage. And it kind of, they never let the game slip from there, you know. There was never a feeling in this game that Lotus were in command. It was always kind of, since that initial damage, it always felt like Weekend had the reins.
I mean, after that, when you have 7 combat tanks and you've killed basically one of the enemy team, it's going to be really hard for Lotus to recover. They made a decent move there on towards the type, but Jordan and the Fush B stood his ground, clipped out, and then died in return. It's also not ideal though for a type 5.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the 430 twist could have side scraped out and peeked the type who was pressuring his own type, but I think maybe he just didn't want to take the risk. And yeah, at that point, it's just kind of, there's no real way back for Lotus. It really did feel like Weekend had a full control over this game, and it was a well played one. Yeah.
So
looking at the damage though, those T57s,
they paid off.
10k combined.
Yeah, they did what they were supposed to do in those 57s.
Yeah, nice 3 kills between them. And if you look on the Lotus side, I mean, 2 tanks above 3k, the damage just wasn't there. Even the 430s, who are meant to be the DPM tanks, they didn't get anything out. I think Jordan was the Foch who peeked and clipped out Hellrap. He got 1 full clip off, but I mean, getting a full clip off in a Foch isn't worth it if you die.
No. But, you know, moving on from this map, we're going into Pilsen now. We went from Pilsen, we're going into Tundra. So, yet to see like a really straight fight on Tundra though. Quite often we just see the West taking the mid strike and then the East taking the North strike, but no real brawls erupting. Like we saw at WCI quite a few times, like a straight brawl. So far in OLS, teams not really wanting to go for that.
Tundra's quite difficult to do a direct brawl because there's so many dunes in the way of each other. You're all peeking hold down. If you want to push in, you've got to push into crossfire, and it means the person who pushes is always at that initial disadvantage because they take that first volley. So, and because it's such a small map, it's quite difficult to do rotations unspotted. So it is quite difficult to go for that straight fight, but maybe we'll see it here. I mean, both of these teams are scrapping for points, so maybe it's going to be a scrappy one.
It's also hard to rotate on Tundra because there's so many radio towers actually. It has 3 radio towers.
Yeah, 2 in the base, 1 in the middle. But again, it's like, I think this is probably one of the smallest maps in OLS. So it is quite difficult to make those rotations, especially when, like, as you can see, the middle of the map is like one straight corridor that can get spotted on rotation. But I do like the map actually, and I think we're going to see an interesting one here. I want to see some aggressive plays.
I mean, I would like to see a straight brawl. I think it would be funny.
Yeah, but I mean, we're that team known for aggression, but it seems no longer. So
it's
I'm
not really
sure
working for them though.
Well, I mean, the control is the control working for them?
I mean the control is not working for them.
Well, yeah, so they probably should go back to the aggression, but I don't think Lotus will risk a full brawl. I feel like confidence might be a little bit low for them. They haven't taken many points at all, so I feel like they're gonna try and let the enemy make the mistake. But I mean, we'll see. I feel like towards the end of the season we're gonna see Weekend kick it into gear with the aggressive play. But for now, I feel like okay, maybe not. You go.
Lotus. BZ, CS, double E50, 140, double Blitzkewitze.
Yeah, Weekend, BZ, 4 E50Ms, a 140 and a Foch B. These both look like they could be brawl lineups. So we might see...
Different styles slightly, right? Blitzkewitzes versus more DPM tanks.
Yeah, I mean, I played my first Blitzkewitze game like a week ago, and I've fallen in love with the tank. It's amazing. Especially in this game mode with the buff to the speed. It feels like you're like scooting everywhere so quickly. It's an amazing tank.
I hate the Gunnerk.
Well, I kind of like it. I like the in-your-face nature. But you can see here, Lotus going full tanks up to the north, but Weekend doing a bit more of a split.
Yeah, they're playing control again. BZ boosting towards the middle strike. to contest it or just at least spot out while they're taking over the south, taking the radio tower as well. So they have no real interest in challenging here in the beginning. No brawl in the works either.
Yeah, I mean, they do have to make something work, obviously, with the changes to the map. They can't take the hill and have this overloading position because there are rocks in the way. Lotus will get both the strikes, and they will just start building that strike arsenal. They have those Bliskowitzes, but again, the Bliskers are only good on close range. So if they're all the way at the back of the map here, they're not going to be great. It's going to be about 400 a pop. But we need to see if Lotus can prepare for any rotations. I mean, we can have taken the map, but they're on a time limit while this strike arsenal gets built. And Jordan takes a nice position. He's going to get some good info from there.
Flash moving for the radio tower in the north. So, I mean, right now it's Weekend that has all the information all the time. That's the downside if you're Lotus, right? That's playing against his double radio tower. Every 30, 40 seconds, they always know where you're heading.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a big disadvantage, though. Jordan is going to be spotting the middle riverbed. The 140 50M of Botsik and Twist will spot the hill rotation. I mean, nobody's spotting the western portion of the map right now, but I think I would give up info for 2 strikes every minute and a half. I think it's so valuable just to have that perma strike. I feel like this game, the longer it goes on for, will start to split into Lotus's favor.
I mean, if they can build up 4 or 5 strikes on the team, then yeah, for sure, that will be very powerful.
Yeah.
That's the thing right now. Botsians is... however, I don't think that this mid one is one that they can really go for. I'm pretty sure it gets crossfired out.
It can get shot across the bridge, I believe. Not entirely sure about that, but I don't like the fact for Lotus, nobody's spotting that one-line cross. Or spotting Trash Panda. I feel like the CS should be on A3 giving those spots. Like, they have good information, Lotus, on the eastern portion of the map, but not on the western. And you can kind of see that now the BZ of Trash Panda is just moving forward for free. Like, he's unspotted doing this. So I feel Lotus are playing a little bit strangely. Like, we can have all the info. Why are you hiding? You need to have that western information yourself.
Gonna just contend right now. We're just taking this strike at A4 over and over. They have 7 minutes, so they have the opportunity to take it at least 2, 3 more times if they want to.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, as the draw rules work, it's based on kills, and after that, damage dealt. And if you've got 7 strikes, that's a lot of damage.
I don't think they'll get quite to 7, but 5 is for sure a possibility.
Well, yeah. I mean, depends if they want to risk for that mid one, but
Nah,
I just don't
think they will.
It feels like Lotus are trying to make a trap in the north. But every 30 seconds there's an info tower. So what is this trap achieving? First damage dealt?
I don't think it's a trap at all. I think they're just like really just banking on taking the safe 4 strike a few more times.
You see, like, just
going for the middle strike though.
Yeah, takes it almost for free.
I think this
But it
might be
looks like they're gonna pounce
moment.
on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they know that Trash Panda is there. Jordan's now getting shot from behind. Trash Panda's getting shot from the front as well. This is a bait from Weekend, but I'm not sure if this is a smart bait at all. Trash Panda on that strike, now getting shot from numerous angles as well. Tarks just boosting across, getting some shots on towards the back. Now they need somebody to get in behind. Botsian's moving in with the ability activated. Evillock and Iset and moving in with the E50M and the first B. Starting to clip out that BZ of Jordan. The first strike, the second strike, the third strike as well. But Iset is still in the damage receiving part of his ability, so he will heal a decent amount from that. Evillock is not going to heal anything though, because he is down and out. And now Iset trying to reverse over the bridge. Honestly, it would be better if he just jumps down on the rock and tries to escape that way, because there's another strike coming his way, and then the Bliskowice, another strike actually getting dropped towards Iset. That's the strike from the CS and Botsians to finish it off, and that I think is a mistake from Iset. You can jump onto that rock and just bail from that, you know, like you don't need to drive over the bridge.
Yeah, you won't flip. It's like almost like a little bit of a ramp here, but Katsank getting caught. A lot of damage. 1900 strike will take him out. But I mean, it's just a strange game. HP is equal, but so many more tanks on weekends. Oh my god, Hellrap is absolutely gone. He's in Ruinberg right now, and that should seal the deal. Lotus will be on match point here.
Very, very weird move from Weekend to boost that BZ into the position where they know he can get overpushed. He does get overpushed, and then they know that they're playing against a numerous strike team, right?
No, one last strike right at the end.
like they know that Lotus already had like 3-4 strikes available.
Yeah.
So grouping up is it's not really what you want to go for. And for Lotus, I mean, it's amazing, right? They get a free repush on towards the BZ. The guy on the hill's out of the fight for a while, and then the two guys pushing across the bridge. I mean, yeah, sure, they clip out a BZ, but after that,
I mean, I think the guy on the hill did decent damage, but even then, like Trash Panda got pushed on, but he lived for a very long time. I think the big issue was this. I think Trash Panda, no, Weekend had a bit of an overreaction. I think they thought they were going to lose that BZ for free, so they sent those 2 tanks across the bridge, and they just got absolutely almost deleted. It was such a net negative trade that they made on the bridge, the Foch and E50M, for trying to save 1 BZ. It felt very disjointed. I feel like Trash Panda didn't have enough cover. Like, you can see he did 2 shots of damage, but even then he lived for longer than expected. And I just don't think Weekend were in position to cover this. It was a very strange play, almost like kind of dangling bait from your hand.
Count up the strike damage though. 1800 between Botsians and Twist. With Tuka it's 3000. With Twist it's 4400 damage from strikes.
Yeah, that's the thing about this map. That's the risk you take.
Even more, no? 4,800 almost, I think. It's like 1.5
abacus. Take out the abacus, but if you're gonna make this map control move, you need to make a decision kind of before those secondary strikes are taken. They get the first 2, but you can't wait until they take another 2. It was just a kind of a strange game. I think maybe they thought Trash Panda was better covered than he was. They kind of almost dangled bait from their hand for a shark to grab it. I mean,
it has to be a deliberate move there from Trash Panda. I doubt he would just boost into there by himself. So that means it was probably a call from the team, but it was.
I think they expected he would be better covered. I think.
I don't know.
I mean, he lived for a long time though. Like he made a good move. He went around the rock so where nobody could shoot him for a while. So I think he died after the 50M on the bridge. So they had the time there. I think the mistake was they went close with the 50B, with the Foch B and the E50M on the bridge. The 50M got deleted, and the Foch, as you said, he should have jumped off. Instead, he just kind of died there. And
I mean, it's so funny watching the Foch trying to reverse over the bridge. When, you know, and also there's a rock below the bridge, which I don't think it's there in randoms, which means you can just like. It's like a small drop, and
I think the rock is there, but it's a bit different. It's
smaller?
not the same.
I think
No, it's like in Onslaught, it's a ramp, so you can actually like just drive off safely. But I think it is there in randoms, but it's smaller.
I'm not really often on the bridge.
You don't know your rocks?
In Tundra, I know how to jump off the bridge in an EBR and survive.
Nice. It's a useful skill. EBR races?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. But now it's, if we can, they're not going to get the maximum points.
It's already not that great for them.
No. But, I mean, it could be worse. They could lose this one. So,
sure. And that
could always be worse.
That would put them in a crisis situation. Usually you fire the manager at that point.
Yeah. We'll see if they can bring in the special one, but we need to see the lineups here to see what they want to do. I mean, it was just a strange round. I mean, I don't disagree with what they played. I don't mind playing that field side, but you need to make a decision before they get those second couple of strikes, because then the arsenal is built, and the moment you make a play, it's like suddenly you're 2k down because you get airstriked.
Lotus though, different nonetheless. BZ, double IS7, a CS, W50M, and a 140.
We can double type, batchat 140, 430U, and double Foch. Heavy lineup. We rarely see types on Tundra. It tends to be, although it's a small map, it tends to be much more of a mobile map. What do you think about the double IS7s from the western spawn?
Not sure actually. I feel like it's controlled with the IS7s.
It has to be north though. You need to play the IS7s on the like little hills all the way on the red line, the north. I don't think they can play them on the field side, but we need to see the opener. Foch is going towards the north, and no, Type's going towards the north, Foch is to the south. It looks like they kind of want to bait with the Types, maybe get Lotus to be overconfident, jump on Trash Panda and flash, and the rest of the team does some damage, but seems that Lotus are going to take the info and kind of get the sniff out what Weekend are going to do.
I mean, they spot the first Type 5 heavy.
Info being taken.
Panda looks to be moving towards the cap, maybe even. I mean, interesting.
Yeah, but it's just a strange play to, again, give up that north.
Well, they're going to be giving up a lot of strikes.
Not necessarily. If these Foshes make that aggressive play with the 430 and catch something, Twist can't get the info, so they don't know the Foshes are here.
Yeah,
but it looks like... Sorry.
So far, yeah, indeed, the Foshes are getting... But Baltic is watching the cross, though. They'll get the info, but I think it will just be on time. And the CS is moving back as well, so it's in the I7 is sitting... I don't think they're, like, that badly shaped. They spotted the 140 and the 430U now as well. The BZ's moving to the cross. The Forge B gets spotted out. The second one does not get spotted out, though, but Twist is there. Jordan is coming as well. There's a lot of tanks on 1-2 line for Lotus.
Yeah, but this is not that bad for Weekend, though. They've kind of got them blocked. Yes, Lotus do have those double strikes that might come on the Foshes now, and they don't have ability open, but it's definitely not pushable for Weekend. But if you can make some small adjustments and not get surrounded, it might not be that bad for Weekend, actually. But these Foshes are completely useless at the moment.
Twist is starting to peak on that 140. They're pushing across the bridge now as well. Interesting, because look at the strike up in 12 seconds. So they're doing this, letting go of potentially getting another strike. And now the push on 1-2 comes. Haura pops his ability, but there is 4 tanks here for Lotus. First strike comes in. There's no secondary strike. I think they ought to use it somewhere else. Hellrap goes down, but this is not the push for Weekend. Sure, they had the Lotus in this position, but pushing it themselves is not something they could do. Kano now coming in with his badge of 25T, but he's basically already out of this Force Bs because the one of them is dead. The other one's trying to desperately reverse. He's facing it. He's standing his ground in the badge of 25T, but there's way too many Lotus tanks here right now. Weekend felt the need to push, felt forced to push, and they are driving straight into the guns from Lotus, who are having a good time. 2 tanks down for the side of Weekend, down in HP as well. The Forge B down towards the one-shot. Sokol in the 1v1 against Trash Panda. The Forge B goes down now. He's getting shot by Twist from behind in the 140. And Lotus on victory march even down 1-2 line. Weekend, a team that performed oh so well last season, now seems to be a team in absolute crisis. 4 playdays in, 0 points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, this just wasn't an easy push ever. Because it's Foshes going from, like, turretless Foshes, going from the low ground, pushing E50Ms on the high ground. Your cupola is exposed the whole way. It's not flat ground. This is just such a difficult push to make. And as you said, an absolute crisis. And you can't even say that Lotus got lucky or anything. This was just, I mean, well played by Lotus, but I'd have to say not great by Weekend either, to be quite honest. I feel like they need to perform better if they want any chance of doing anything. They don't take a single point from this, and there needs to be an adjustment. As you said, it's kind of, you start to blame the manager now.
It depends on who the manager is, of course, in this case. But that usually goes down towards the FC to blame, whoever it is leading at this moment in time. But for Lotus, 3 well-needed points.
Yeah, 7-0, not a single tank killed, and deserved. I mean, the strat had some potential if they make the play a little bit quicker before Lotus could reinforce that western part of the map, but they paused, they hesitated, and because of that, it allowed Lotus to reinforce, and then it's just a kind of bad decision to push it, you know? You're pushing from low ground with Foshes, where it's you can't shoot the enemy, but they can shoot your cupola, so you're always in an initial negative trade. You're trying to go around rocks, which is not great for a turretless tank. You kind of want everything on flat ground in front of you, nice and simple. That's the ideal Fosh engagement. So I just feel like it was kind of square pegs in round holes, you know? Maybe if they pushed with 430s, this could have been a bit different. But the push needed to be earlier, and I'd say the Foshes are not the greatest tank for this engagement. They wanted to catch something. Maybe if it would have been different if Lotus did play that side of the map, but they didn't. They went for the north, they took the strikes, they have that initial strike advantage, and it just, they never let it slip, you know? There was never a moment in this game where you can say that Weekend could have performed.
And that was that. Lotus pick up 3 points, putting themselves on 4 and making a little bit of a separation between them and the bottom half. But Volgas could come closer. We'll have to find out about that one, though, after some replays.
ATM with the readjustment here. Is Illusia going to get another shot in towards the lower plate? Yes, that means one shot on towards the 50M. Is XC-Max going to pick it up? Good shot in towards the cupola. It is the 1v1 we've been waiting for here, and he does it.
The OLS Season 5 is already here. The best teams are ready to head onto the battlefield. Who will you be supporting? Root for your favorites, follow their journey, and stand by them. With you on their side, they'll be unstoppable. You take hits together with them, and that means you go all the way. Behind every vehicle is a personality whose quick thinking and precise actions can change the outcome of battle. Victory is 100 shots and maneuvers, plus 1,000 emotions on the other side of the screen. Support your favorite OLS team. Be by their side. Together, until victory.
Well, hello there, and welcome back. And for those that forgot me, my name's Keyhand, and we, Ducky and I, that is, are gonna be going through the next match together. CTR against Cashback. Now, before the season, I think it would have been fair to say that this is a, well, open and shut case, clear favorite, clear underdog, but CTR has performed above and beyond expectations. So now it's kind of up in the air, in my opinion.
Indeed, it's up in the air, but you know, you would still favor Cashback though with the experience and the fact that the season is getting longer and the teams should be getting more well trained, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also, whereas some of those top dogs were maybe willing to discard or discount CTR, I think they have been warned now, is the correct way to say it. Here you see the lineup of CTR. I saw an edit of that with Patras upside down. Let's hope none of that happens today. And here we see Cashback in the black and gold jerseys. They do have, some of them that is, they do have some OLS titles to their name, but recently it's not been going too well for them. Today could be the day where they start turning around the trend.
It is possible for them. But, you know, Patras here, highlight player. Sometimes he's up, sometimes he's down, and sometimes he's completely turned around.
Exactly. 3.8 damage dealt. That's quite a lot, actually. And this is, I think, the first time that we're using the stats from the OLS. Finally, we do have enough data to display something meaningful. And meaningful is the community prediction as well. 43 to 57, as I said, before the season. Some people would have probably put CTR in the single digits, but it's fair to say that they have made a very positive impression.
Yeah. This is, you know, 43% for them is very, very high. People having a lot of faith in them, maybe getting a little bit overconfident, you know, like getting too much on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I think the problem that might mount here for CTR is that OLS is unlike anything that they've played previously, where, you know, every second, maybe third day, you have to deliver, you have to bring new strategies, you have to surprise your opponent. And Cashback, obviously, with their experience that you mentioned, are going to be used to that. For CTR, not so much. Now, CTR removing Ensk, Tundra, Cashback doing the same, but Sand River getting picked. And there are some not so good memories of some CTR players on Sand River. Maybe they think they can do better today. Cashback with a very interesting counter pick. Ruinberg, one of the two new additions to the pool. Then a whole lot of banning going on. And if we get there, it's going to be Muro for the tiebreaker.
It would be funny if Patras manages to flip again, right?
Well, maybe we should call a Dady. He has a lot of experience with that to maybe help Patras out. But yeah, very, very unfortunate for him. But he probably is going to be extra careful today.
I mean, you'd hope so. Predictions across the board, 3-1s for Cashback, except for Kihan going with a 3-2. Do enlighten us, Kihan.
Well, so far, CTR have looked very, very good. And the impression that I mentioned, not only have they made it onto the community, but also on myself. I think Cashback still is favored, but CTR is going to be putting up quite a fight. So let's see, as we're hopping into the first game, Cashback with a very offensive approach that we've been seen before, also very reactive. 1 BZ, 75, quadruple E50M, an STRV, and an RHM.
CTR in return. BZ, BAT, K91 ×2, URES, 114, SP, and an EBR.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of the 114 SP2. Like, yeah, you can't get penned by HE, like a Gorilla, for example, but the thing is, for the ability to work, you must be unspotted anyway. So, I think I prefer the Gorilla Alpha over what the 114 SP2 offers, but it still hits quite hard. And it starts with 2 charges, which is quite a lot, actually.
Herman taking the middle of the map in that EBR very quickly. Clearing that crown area. Does get spotted out by Liberty. Might even take a shot. Liberty connects that one in the RHM immediately. Might even find a second one if Herman's not careful. He does escape. Eva will move on to the strike, and Cashback will pounce on that south, but there's nobody there right now.
Yeah, I mean, Little of all people could have gone for the artillery strike in that STRV, but I think it's going to go towards one of those E50Ms. Also very important for Liberty. With that shot, he managed to get another plane out. He just used it and found, well, no one, while Koiticek in that K91 now starting to take the info tower, and I think he's going to get it, whereas Brainbreaker takes an artillery strike. Liberty gets found, though, by Broly. That is some good damage coming in from Woodok as well, the RHM. Absolutely has to turn around here. Tail between his legs, running away. And now Woodok might be in a pickle because that E50M hit squad has not stopped.
Yeah, and they're going to continue down the K line the whole time through. Now they're spotted out. Woodok in that BZ is in the middle of the map. The cap has gotten started by Liberty. Squeezy, Aphrodite, and Aka going across here. Aphrodite actually staying. Squeezy taking 2 shots there. One from the 114 and then another one from another target. Koiticek though, taking quite a bit in that K91.
Brainbreaker now getting tagged as well. There seems to be a lot of crossfire. Wait a little as Woodok is coming through the dried out riverbed to put crossfire onto Brainbreaker. Frawley could be coming in as well. Shots starting to connect on the BZ. He has his ability active, but how much good is that going to do is the question. Ramming, so he's now going to be a one-shot for Woodok, who might want to pick him up. Brainbreaker should be reloaded before a lot of shots whizzing past as well. Brainbreaker taking one more in the side, and Woodok to shut it down. First kill for the team from Czechia.
Yeah, Woodok kind of surprised even that they were behind him so quickly, and Cashback now kind of locked in a pretty bad part of the map, to be honest.
And with that, EBR is also able to run Ring Around the Rosie with Cashback here. The mobility of the EBR is just going to project map control and information everywhere. So, yeah, while Cashback is up a lot of HP, can they really make it work? Because that STRV obviously isn't really suited for pushing either, and CTR have been given a lot of neutral objectives to work with. They just took an info tower. They're going to take another strike as well. Floki with that bat shot, hopefully for him, is going to be able to stay alive, and that puts a lot of utility into the pockets of CTR.
Cashback right now just seems to be okay though. They're like, okay, we gotta slow it down. We'll start gathering some strikes.
Info tower got used by CTR just to safeguard themselves, I guess, against a possible E50M push, because that one can still be quite nasty here. But as of now, those E50Ms by Cashback not really making any kind of funky moves. The Batcha from CTR all the way in A1 is now going to start a rotation as well. Liberty taking a singular strike, but as it stands, CTR with this first kill on the board are winning when it comes to tiebreaker conditions. So how does Cashback respond?
And Cashback does have a lot of HP though. This will be their lot of HP, a lot of DPM. May try to retake the middle at some point while covering it with that STRV from the K line against the overpeaks, and Woodok taking their shot from Aka. Aka's pretty happy about that. Says thank you very much, Budo. Let's stay
Damage,
back.
although good retaliation in towards Aka, and 1-for-1 those trades are not going to be going Woodog's favor. However, the strike is going to come down to ensure that Aka gets out on top, but he can't really cross because Patras would be putting a big one into that E50M for crossing.
Strike is back up for CTR. Herman will probably go collect that one in the EBR, and that will give them 3 strikes. And I don't think they can even find any shots with him either.
No, the plane did get used by Liberty, but I don't think he really got a lot out of it. I mean, they're trying to blind shot.
Some damage on Folly.
Yeah, but he's not going to get the replay out of it. That's the problem. CTR don't necessarily know this, but yeah.
He has a replay from sitting on the cap.
Oh, yeah, true.
Ooh, Aphrodite just in the middle for free. He could actually just go behind Woodog if he wanted to.
I mean, he could. He definitely has the DPM advantage. He also has the HP necessary to make it work. But keep in mind, those are 3 strikes that are picked up right now by the team of CTR. That is 1350 damage or something. That's nothing to scoff at. And if you actually stagger the strikes, you can make sure to re-stun the target that you're striking for the brawl that you might be striking onto. CTR, though, taking more damage. That was on Patras, who got spotted, and Liberty having a level 3 plane ability out of that. So slowly but surely, CTR bleeding more than they possibly should.
Now Aka snook behind Woodog, though. Aphrodite is coming from one angle, but Aka is there from the other. The BZ is going to die. Strikes getting used on Aka. That's a lot of damage sticking up. Down towards a one-shot for that. So CTR use their arsenal on towards Aka efficiently. So he's down towards a one-shot for this. And because of that, the HP still in favor of Cashback, but the guns could change rather quickly.
The guns currently even. There's 2 one-shots on the side of CTR, and that is of course a problem with that plane from Liberty, together with possible strikes that could get snatched up in the south or even in the middle of the map as Aka makes his way towards it. Koidicek is going to pick up yet another strike, and of course Aka not looking too healthy either, so CTR is still with the possibility, but the HP, they're just so far gone. And keep in mind, 1k of that HP is on the 114 SP2 that realistically doesn't want to get spotted, doesn't want to participate in the actual fight.
I mean, they can just take another strike for Cashback, and I honestly think that they're kind of winning out the game right now, because Herman has no real way in the EBR. They've managed to clean up that BZ in the middle of the map. Maybe Woodog maybe he should have left at some point, right? Maybe after killing Brainbreaker, he should have tried to escape.
Yeah. I think the problem here really for CTR is the HP, to be honest. Like, they just don't have a frontline anymore that they could utilize. Realistically, the K91 is their frontline tank at this point in time, and that means, well, nothing good for CTR as Aphrodite and Mindbreaker starting to make a move. Good shot by Koidicek, but Herman does get spotted with little with the ability, doesn't miss those. So the HP on the EBR going rather low, getting wheeled as well. Mindbreaker taking a whole lot of punishment, but manages to put one more into the EBR as the K91, of course, will rain down hell from A1, but another position switching in favor of Cashback now as Aka goes down to 250. The baby strike not enough to take him out of the picture.
Yeah, but Koidicek still has a big strike.
I think
hard.
he just used it, or well, that was it used on Mindbreaker, who takes another shot as well from
Why
EBR.
not on Aka though?
I'm not entirely sure. Mindbreaker taking another shot here.
There comes the plane.
One shot, plane on towards Evo. Do they have another strike? I don't think so. But Evo gets picked up regardless by Mindbreaker, who drops down to one shot himself.
I'm not sure why he didn't decide to strike Aka for the side of CTR. I mean, Mindbreaker takes a mini strike. It's not enough to kill him though. Herman is now coming back. 1 minute 30. It is a opportunity to bring it back. Herman peeking up.
Oh, he missed. I don't think Mindbreaker has the ability either, but Herman doesn't know it. Koidicek hits him with the strike, so the HP are even once again.
On tanks, everything is fine, but on HP, CTR is losing hearts, so they need to find more than this.
The question is who dealt more damage. I would be inclined to believe that it was Cashback. Oh, and another big hit on towards Patras. He even falls, and that means kill advantage here for the side of Cashback. CTR, they need to find one, better 2 kills, and do that quickly, as Koidicek does find little, but to be honest, those are 2 DPM tanks with the SGRB probably having more, putting a shot elsewhere, getting tracked, has a rep kit available though, will now focus his attention on towards Koidicek.
Yeah, and Little is even supported by Aphrodite, so Koidicek will fall in the K91. Aphrodite might find the kill, if not, Little will do it. Little finds it, he's down towards the one-shot in return, but Liberty chasing down Froly and Floki. Little finds Floki, that leaves only Froly left, and CTR in a very long game will be losing the very first one. And I think that's off of the back of a lot of good plays from Liberty.
Yeah, I think Liberty is one of those players in that RHM, like if you give him the room to work with, and there definitely is a lot of room on Sand River, he's going to over time make some magic happen. I think Patras, throughout the entirety of like 8 or 9 minutes that he was alive, he never felt safe. He always had to worry about, hey, when can I peek, when can I not, when is that pesky plane going to hit me? So yeah, Liberty instrumental here for the team of Cashback. And for CTR, I mean, this is kind of their second sort of test, real test against good teams, because, well, Weekend not looking too sharp this season, and I think for now, Cashback's experience definitely coming into the picture.
The long game works for them, the 50Ms work for them as well, a lot of good planes from Liberty. I mean, mainly that BZ in the middle of the map, it became a linchpin at some point. So, like, at some point it became a linchpin for them, and he got repushed, was clean. Aka went down towards the one-shot, but they were never really able to kill him for that.
No, and I think for CTR the problem was the HP bleed that they had early, and also Wudok, despite having most damage, being the first target to fall, because as soon as that BZ is gone for the side of CTR, what do they have that can actually brawl? Not really a lot. Like, the EBR, no. The 114 SP2, no. The K91s, maybe, but no. The Udas is supposed to, you know, bait everyone, including his teammates. And the Batchat just doesn't have the sustain. So when the BZ75 gets removed, you have a CTR that is just so flimsy when it comes to the setup that they can't really fight anymore, where, of course, the E50Ms, they don't mind. They want to hop in there. They want to get in there.
Now, that was the first round of Sand River, though, and, you know, CTR there in the long game, you could see the advantage of the RHM over the EBR, right? The EBR needs the find a way in, while the RHM just has the planes that can drop and become useful because of that.
And I think also, after all is said and done, the RHM is just the more potent light tank to fight with. It has better DPM, it has those really good HE shells that, against a lot of the tanks that that CTR had, work really, really well. So, yeah, overall, I think in a drawn-out game like this, where the EBR is just unable to find any kind of opening, the RHM vastly superior.
Second round, however, coming out, and, you know, Cashback could be CTR's undoing, and I feel like it will be, actually. After like a successful run like that, at some point comes the wall, you know?
Mm-hmm. There is no Uzek in Cashback though, so the wall has to wait a little longer. But let's see how they do in the second game here in Cashback, switching it up quite a bit actually. Triple BZ75 even together with a singular 50M, make that to a 140, and Liberty, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. RHM once again.
CTR double K91, Udes, RHM, Batchat, double BEZ for them. So they're this time switching out the EBR, they're going with an RHM. Let's see what it brings.
And CTR indeed switching it around. They do have doubled their front line with that double BZ. Still though, I think if it comes to a straight up fight, the lineup of Cashback should prevail, but CTR with this more specialist lineup, if they find the positions, if they find the engagements, of course, do stand a chance. Opening wise, sending a lot of those tanks in towards the middle here to maybe counter whatever Cashback is doing. That immediately sent double BZ75, make that 3 into the fray. Some bounces Mindbreaker to take the brunt of the damage. Koidicek has to evacuate, has to flee in that RHM. Cannot stay here against the BZs that really find a lot of damage on towards themselves here, but only get onto the Arty Strike. I don't think this was really worth it.
It wasn't that bad for the BZs though. I mean, Mindbreaker is half, but they did do some damage back to Froley, Patras, and Herman. Could have been a lot worse, and Koidicek is going to run into Liberty on 1-2 line as well, and I don't think they can really... I think this is a mistake from Koidicek. He is going to die there against Liberty. Because he can't run away. Liberty will keep him perma-playing, the E50M will come with the strike as well. And Koidicek is now going to try and run away in the RHM, but that's in front of triple BZs. 1, 2, 3 shots come in. He's down towards a 1-shot. The strike coming in as well. Goodbye. No, that one missing. The BZs, however, might just get a reload on towards Koidicek. No, he's going to be hiding. Oh, he's still in the open. He's trying to run away still. One miss coming out. Second, third one. They will not miss. Koidicek is dead, and now Froley is in trouble as well, and this turns around so very quickly. Koidicek had no business on the 1-2 line, and now it's going to be CTR trying to push across the crown in front of the BZs, and Froley's down towards a 1-shot. What is bad will get worse, and this looks like a death march because nothing here will change for the side of CTR. They're trying to push over the north. They will find the 50M, but Squeezy smartly backing away in the 140. Froley is dead. There goes the Inspire, and they will find Aphrodite in the north. He goes down, but the rest of the CTR tanks will soon follow him in the grave. And this opening from Cashback could have been a lot worse, but they turn it around rather quickly. It's going to be 2-2-0 coming out of Sand River.
Yeah, Cashback absolutely striking like a cobra after the first kill onto Koidicek, that I do agree with you, had absolutely no business being on the 1-2 line there in the GH area. CTR feel pressure to repush because realistically they have to do something, but they end up completely, well, doing nothing good for them, at least that is. And Mindbreaker shuts it down. That is a very quick and decisive round number 2 on Sand River. And keep in mind, this also was CTR's pick. So now Cashback, with all the possibilities realistically on the second map, CTR falling apart a little bit on Sand River.
Yeah, and they weren't, like, I would almost expect them to kill a BZ in the beginning for that play, but they didn't. Mindbreaker was like 1500, so honestly, it wasn't that bad for him, even. Like, Mindbreaker, pretty happy with that result. And then Koidicek, I mean, leading and driving at the same time can sometimes be very difficult. He had no business on 1-2 line, and he was dead. He was 100% dead 100% of the time. He's not making it out of there.
I mean, yeah, not really anything to properly highlight in the battle results screen, except that Cashback, they struck really like a cobra at CTR and took everything from them in a very, very quick fashion. I mean, quick game as well. Nothing really to be said except that Cashback with that opening probably surprising CTR and then getting them into an uncomfortable position. And I think that is a strategy that possibly a lot of teams might be using or even exploiting against CTR from this point on, because CTR have demonstrated that they do have good openings, but the reactions in the game seem to be kind of lackluster.
I mean, this game is just over when Koidicek dies. Like, they have to make a move, then it doesn't work out, and that means Sand River is done. CTR's pick, it's out. We're going to Ruinberg.
And Ruinberg, we haven't seen it too much yet this season. We've seen quite a few interesting rounds on it. What do you think so far, especially of the fact that there are no info towers?
I don't know. I'm not convinced about Ruinberg.
Okay.
At all.
Okay. As in, you don't really like it?
Yeah, no, so far, it's like Siegfried Lion, but different.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Siegfried Lion had more dynamic gameplay almost.
Oof. I mean, the possibility for a lot of dynamic gameplay, even though it wasn't really realized a lot of the time. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting what both of those teams bring. Cashback, of course, picking it. That means they have a plan. And let's see if they're able to execute it in this first game right away. Because if they take one more round, that's a CTR gone, stomped into the dust. Or if CTR are able to make a comeback here, I think both of us are rooting with CTR at this point in time for our predictions. But if Cashback just keep going like they have, it's looking kind of dire for the CTR.
We'll see. Maybe they can bring something back on Ruinberg, but so far it's looking really, really, really bad for them. And this happens, you know, you have this streak where things are going really your way, and then at some point you do hit a wall.
Well, let's hope that CTR are able to dig themselves out of the hole that they're in currently. Although maybe sometimes if you have a loss like this, maybe it's better if it goes quickly, at least. So, you know, it's kind of quick and painless. Let's see, though. Cashback, Triple BZ, a T57, a 140, a Bliska, and a Foch B. No super heavies. Well, kinda-ish with the BZ75, but you know what I mean. No mouse, no E100, no Type 5 even on Cashback's side.
CTR in return, CS 140, Foch B, and Quad E4. So Cashback might try to do something quick and explosive, at least, with those BZs.
Although I think in the long term, the E4 usually ends up trading better against the BZs. Not only does it have better alpha, it also has no penetration issues at all, and it reduces the incoming damage from those BZ75s that already don't have the greatest of DPM. Cashback immediately driving towards the 7 and 8 line. And CTR, they want to go to the city, it seems, the 140 of CTR. He is kind of split off, so Froley needs to play a very careful game of World of Tanks here to be able to survive and do meaningful stuff in his 140 to try and inspire all of his teammates. The BZ75s, meanwhile, keep marching through as Squeezy takes a first shot, so Froley makes his position known. How much support is he going to get is the question.
Raka is now pushing across the middle with Liberty down the zero line, the different zero line. He is making his way towards that 140 of Froley. There is Patras covering, Woodrock looking as well, and the Foch B behind, but is that going to be enough? Little moving on, and the BZ75 gets spotted out, so knows something's a foul here. Does he realize the bush that Patras is in, though? Sorry, that Froley is in.
That's the question. I mean, Aka moving unspotted at the red line as well. This might become a huge problem for Froley. Right now, he's not going to get spotted, I don't think, because the back of his tank is far enough ahead. But yeah, they're really starting to encroach onto Froley's position. Although Brainbreaker seems to be a little shy with advancing right now. But yeah, Froley, he knew what he was doing when he went there, but I don't think he likes his position so much anymore.
I mean, if you're Froley, you know, you're stuck there. And the also question is, when would he get spotted, right?
Oh, he just got spotted, and that is, I think, a big issue for CTR. Because, yeah, behind him now there is the Bliskowitzer. Froley takes a shot of damage. He's going to be able to back into this corner here, but he's not going to be able to leave. The strike going down. 1800 only remaining on the 140 as Liberty, with the intuition here, absolutely popping the ability. That's going to reduce the incoming 450 damage as well. So he's going to be extremely healthy.
Can they push across, though? I mean, I guess they could, honestly, without even being in trouble.
There is triple E4 aiming. Maybe the CS of Koidicek could also be putting some damage, but honestly, if the Bliskowitz starts advancing, pops the Juggernaut as well to just reduce the incoming damage, because Liberty doesn't really have the ability right now, can't really do it. I think the 140 just dies to the Foch. They're just not sure, I guess, how much is actually aiming.
The 140 should die to the Foch if it goes. But yeah, they're indeed probably worried that there's too many E4s in front of Mindbreaker. Spots up Woodrock and Flocky crossing over. So they're really like respecting the fact that there could be a lot covering this Foch B, this 140.
Well, Woodog now exchanging spots once again with Mindbreaker. Obviously has the problem of that cupola, so Mindbreaker, who's currently holding the angle, should be trading well against the E4. That, of course, doesn't have ability yet. Didn't do any damage. Floki now pushing out, and, well, at least they don't take damage and now have the angle, because they're 2 and Mindbreaker is 1, but Brainbreaker... the fellow breakers here also making his presence known.
But still, there's no real move from Cashback. They really don't... Oh, the E4 getting spotted on the 4 line. Pushing out. The other E4 getting spotted out as well. Patraz going forward. Woodog now coming closer as well. I mean, it looks like CTR even may want to repush themselves, but the Bliskavitze now coming close towards the 140, and now they actually decide to go for Frolly. The strike coming out as well with the Bliskavitze of Aka moving in towards Liberty. Pops his ability, so it's going to be Aka versus Frolly, 1v1. Frolly goes for the track, but that is not going to save him. Goes for the track again, that one's not working out. Aka will find the kill. He's now getting clipped in the side by the Force B, but Frolly is dead. That's the Inspire out. Herman pushing the crowd cross in the open. Does have enough to kill Aka off if he opts for it. Liberty still holding the cross, and now Aka getting pressured by Herman. Herman wants this kill. Herman finds this kill as well. Good move there from Herman in the Force B.
Herman, one more shot available, but now the E4s of Patras and Woodog trying to push into a crossfire and into very, very healthy BZ is a good shot into Aphrodite in the T57. Now Evo crossing over in that E4, but probably takes more damage than he would have liked, as Herman on the long reload. Koidicek finding Squeezy, so no Inspire for either side, and actually Cashback have lost 2, whereas CTR have only lost 1 at this point in time. The HP are even, but the guns are not. The triple E4 with the ability active starting to move forward. Woodog doesn't give a damn on 3000 HP, as Liberty now starting to get pushed by Herman and Evo. Herman with the ability, but a very, very late activation actually does get taken out. Quick double kill coming through by Cashback, as Liberty has 2 shots available against Evo, who doesn't have the ability, gets shot down as well. It all starts to crumble. CTR falling against Cashback, who still have 4 tanks.
Yeah, it felt like Herman just forgot to press the button. Brainbreaker boosting past Woodog, which is the man with HP, who finds a good shot against Liberty though, but it's not going to be enough to make him a one-shot for Floki. Brainbreaker taking the damage now. The strike missing on Liberty as well. That was Koidicek's strike. Liberty activating ability as well to mitigate that damage and heal above to be sure not to die in one shot. Now Woodog moving in towards Mindbreaker, even pushing past, and Koidicek from behind, but Liberty picks up Floki. Floki does find one more kill, but the Liberty Force B finds one more. Koidicek will retaliate, but it's Liberty and Aphrodite versus Koidicek, and it's looking like Cashback is here to re-establish the natural order.
And the problem for Koidicek is that he's even a 1 clip for that T57 heavy, so he could be gone in a matter of seconds as Liberty is going to start driving away. I don't think he's close enough to Koidicek for him to spot out the Force B. And yeah, with that CS, I mean, it's a great tank. It has great versatility as well, but it's it would have been, or it would be, a 1 versus 3 actually if Koidicek managed to pull it off. But those 1 versus situation, even though we have seen one already this OLS, it kind of doesn't look likely, as Koidicek takes 1 strike. And that kind of reduces Liberty towards a possible one-shot if Koidicek puts both the baby and the big strike onto the Force B, but we'll have to wait and see. The Force B with the level 1 ability as well, and you can see how how much Koidicek, under how much pressure he is by the POV, where he just frantically switches in and out. Oh, that's also annoying to be missing here. Koidicek knows that because his ability didn't go up. And, well, Liberty kind of wasting the ability, but not really. It does still have a base heal.
Yeah, Koidicek now moving in. He has to do something, but how does he actually win this? Ever?
The simple answer is he doesn't. He's up against the world. He's up against 2 autoloaders with that CS63 single shooting medium tank, and I mean, as soon as he gets spotted here by Liberty in that Force B, Aphrodite just presses W and takes him out of the picture.
Yeah, it's also just not a good endgame tank, right?
Well, it's sometimes a good endgame tank, but certainly not against what he's up against. And also Ruinberg, without info towers, he has no real possibility to do anything. He's also losing on kills. That is a big problem. Oh, Liberty getting spotted. Maybe that's going to make Aphrodite go forward. But yeah, as soon as Koidicek gets close against the T-57, that's it. And here Aphrodite sees him, pops the ability, and that's 4 for 4. Aphrodite locks it in. Humiliation for CDR. Cashback are going to take it 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, when you're on a good streak, you hit a wall at some point. It doesn't undo your previous effort. CTR today getting outplayed, outclassed by Cashback, who play a slow, methodical, but very classy style of World of Tanks and make it work as well.
Yeah, I think the key in this last game here was definitely the 140 that was isolated and found as the weak link by Cashback. It was beautiful to see if you're a Cashback fan, and kind of concerning if you are holding it with CTR, because, I mean, this last round maybe a little bit closer, but at the end, not really. It felt like CTR maybe was able to do something with the triple E4 push while they had the ability active, but Cashback just methodically, cleanly, surgically cutting through them, leaving, well, the team captain Koidicek in an unwinnable situation. And you can see 7,000 damage coming out of that CS, but it simply was not enough.
I mean, he did a really good job in the CS. Even without the strike, that's still above 5k in a CS63. On Rimmer, very good.
Yeah. But as I said, just not enough. And so Cashback are going to net themselves a very clean, a very almost easy 3 points with CTR losing a little bit of that Nimbus that they had going into this match. But as you said, at some point, teams like this start to hit a wall, and this wall today definitely for CTR. It was Cashback, so that was a quick one. But of course, as always, we've got more to come, so we'll see you right after some replays.
Gifts, they're for dreamers. Deals, take the shot.
Hello gamers and welcome back to the Surfshark Onslaught Legends Series Season 5. Back with banter now. We've had a bashing of CTR in the last one. Vulgus is potentially looking at another one of those.
Yeah, it's not... I wouldn't put money on this game unless the odds were very in Hit and Run's favour. It's looking like it's going to be quite a quick day. In theory. I mean, maybe Vulgus are cooking, but I don't know, it might be British food.
It's bland, no spice.
What do you mean? Salt is spice?
Yeah, right. I mean, you know, for you having lived in China for a while, it must be interesting being back in England, no?
Yeah, it was a palate adjustment. What's Belgium's national dish, out of curiosity?
Dude, Brussels sprouts, I guess, you know. Or,
Lovely.
I don't know, man. It's not, you know, I like spice, so, you know, it's not exactly. That, you know. China is a good place for that.
Yeah, too many.
Although I love, you know, my favorite activity is taking Kihan to a hot pot restaurant.
Hogo, yeah, I love Sichuan hot pot is very nice.
Kihan has a spice tolerance of an 11-year-old, so.
Next time they do a China tournament, I'll make sure to come and I'll take you guys to the really hot place.
Dude, you can ask Luna. No problem for me, but Kihan is not walking out of that place.
Well, I mean, Germans are known for their spice tolerance, but then again, neither is the UK. So, but anyway, back to the game.
But yeah, Vulgus, this German-Hungarian lineup versus Hit and Run, who is usually in the regular season at least a very dominant team.
Yeah, I mean, call me Pilcher out, Barbarian in. It's kind of it doesn't get any easier, you know. And Vulgus is a nice team. I know many of the members. There's some good players in there, but they don't have that length of experience that Hit and Run do. Like nearly a decade of playing 7v7, 15v15 together. They're against the ropes, and I'm pretty sure community predictions, if it's not going to be pretty, and I doubt our predictions are pretty either.
Well, can they do it? That's a question. 98% in favor of Hit and Run.
To be fair, 2% is not that bad.
You expected worse?
I expected worse, yeah.
I mean,
I love these players. I think Danny, Kunik, two of my favorite Hungarian players. Sam, I've known him for a long time. Your countryman as well. Are you proud that he's making the flag for Belgium?
Yeah, very, very proud. So
very proud. The nationalism,
yeah,
I can feel it.
The nationalist in me is just, you know, waving the flag upside down.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there are any British players even in this, so I can't really say much.
No, I don't think so. There was at some point, but
Clueless.
Yeah,
they had some British players, but that was about it. Well, then again, Ian was Scottish, but whatever. Maps. So Pilsen and Ensk. I mean, we've seen Pilsen today. Ensk is a breath of fresh air. What's your opinions?
I don't know. But Pilsen. It doesn't really. I feel like Vulgus needs a map on which they can kind of surprise with an aggressive push, for example. I don't know if Pilsen's that map, you know.
No, it's my least favorite map actually. Even in randoms, I never feel like I know what to do there. It's either go left and play hold down, or go right and get shot a lot. So I don't know. It's kind of, you can see all the moves coming from a mile away on Pilsen. I don't know, unless they've got something really cooked. I mean, I do have an idea from North of what they're gonna play. I spoke with one of their FCs, so I've got some idea, but I don't know. I don't think it's the map for me. I mean, personally, I prefer Himmels, Ensk. I feel like Himmels, Vulgus could make something happen, but Pilsen's going to be a struggle, and Ensk doesn't get any easier. That's a very player skill heavy map, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, Pilsen is not a surprise map. It's like mainly rotations, being at the right place at the right time. You can't really surprise because the lanes are pretty long. Cap strategies are a thing of the past at this point. You know, you play against it enough times, you know what you're doing against it.
Yeah, exactly. It's really hard to make a fast cap work, and kind of in a slow game, you know. You ever been in like the weaker team in a slow game? You can never take those aggressive positions because you get punished so hard for it, and then you kind of, because you don't take those aggressive positions, you sit back, you give them the map control, you give them the strikes, and it just kind of spirals. But Pilsen is a map where making an aggressive play is really difficult. There's a lot of open ground. They see you coming from a mile away, and they punish you on the way. This is going to be an uphill battle for Vulgus. Like even I feel this map choice is a surprise. They got to have cooked something to actually choose this map against Hit and Run. I mean, maybe on Cliff they can do some surprise, Himmels as well, but Pilsen's difficult.
Yeah, Pilsen's indeed is indeed difficult. Can Vulgus do it? That's a big question. I don't think so.
What was our predictions?
I think...
Did any of us give them a point?
I think I voted 3-0.
I think I also voted 3-0. I think Muff did 3-1. Someone did 3-1 and the rest did 3-0, so you're going to finally get some points on the board, which is nice.
Predictions. Kian actually went with 3-1, huh?
Yeah, he's a believer. I mean, we might all have egg on our face at the end of this, so...
It's possible.
What can you say? It's not over till it's over, but we just look at the stats and we have that gut feeling, but... I mean, maybe they can make something work. I believe that, like, I know Sam, I know Danny. Danny's a very good FC. I like Danny a lot. I like his style of play. So, they can definitely make something work here, but it's going to take a lot of spices.
Well, what is going to happen? The lineups will tell us a lot.
Yeah, they will.
Volgas, BZ, Mouse, 140, 430 U times 2, and double Bliskovice.
Hit and Run, 1 BZ, a Type, 140, double Foch, E4, and a Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. What's your opinion on the Vulgus lineup? It's pretty aggro.
Now they're going to have to push something with it.
Yeah, and they need to make sure that, like, if Hit and Run, if Ketzai gets that good plane, it's going to be, and you see 3 BZs in the beginning, the jig is kind of up, and that's going to be a big struggle. We need to see if Vulgus, how they're driving in the beginning to try and avoid this plane, but it does look like a cap push from Vulgus. They kind of, their lineup is very struggles on the field. And you can see they're doing the reverse, trying to avoid getting spotted by the plane, only Ollie gets seen, and interesting split though by Vulgus. What do you think? It doesn't look like one side full aggressive. It looks like a bit of a pincer.
Yeah, but where are the BZs going to come from, though? Because right now they're driving towards that outside part, and they're going to have to go through the factory as well, right?
I mean, maybe they expected someone to go straight for the cap, and they were going to boost in, try and pincer him with the Bliskers.
Let's see how much damage they take for this, though, because they're now on the outside. MV already getting shot at. Takes 1, takes 2,
Foch is outloaded, though.
It takes a little
bit
bit
more.
more.
A lot worse.
Now they have to continue. They have to go find something. What is the play here? Cap, after all. Seems like a cap play. No strike in the east being taken in the beginning by Hit and Run, so Tisek will be forced close.
I mean, the Foch, they did a good timing. The Foshes weren't loaded, so the punishment, it was a lot, but it wasn't that bad. And as well, now the BZs are kind of spotting the rotation. They're spotting that 5-line rotation, so they might be able to get some punishment. But it looks like DJ is screening for Barbarian and Panzer Fury, so the damage that they take is minimal. And now we need to see what Vulgus can do with this, because I don't feel like Cap is sustainable.
No, Cap is getting abandoned at this point. The Bliskovices are pushing through. They're moving on towards DJ. Marash taking a shot already. That's 1 Foch B. That's a Type 5 heavy as well. Marash marching on in that Bliskovice, but the damage he's taken is so very high. He's down towards a 1-shot now, and DJ still on 1000 HP. He's not that close to dying. Marash will not get it. Ketzai picks up the kill. Garva will find it, but he will also find a strike back towards him, and Vulgus now down 7,000 HP for this play. I feel like sitting on the other side of the cap and pushing the Type was a better option for them.
Yeah, it's less crossfire. I mean, Marash was kind of thrown to the wolves. I mean, he popped that ability. It was like me popping an ability, you know? You've already taken all the damage when you pop it, but I mean, pushing where they pushed, I'm inclined to agree. You're just pushing into massive crossfire, and you saw how quickly Marash went down. It was dramatic almost. I mean, they find Barbarian, but Olive falls, Garva falls, and now it's a 5-on-3 that's just simply not winnable.
No, not winnable at all. Kunik is going to die on the field, and that makes it so that Vulgus has 2 tanks left standing, and Hit and Run pick up an easy first round. They do not get surprised.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, wasn't horrible. I mean, when you play the stronger opponent, you kind of have 2 options. You can't play control, because you just kind of get outplayed. So you either hard camp, or you make that aggressive early play and try and catch them out. And it seems here they went for the aggressive play. I mean, it wasn't a bad timing. They took some damage going in, but the Foshers weren't loaded, so it could have been a lot worse. But after that, I agree with you. I think they probably should have pushed the cap with the Blitzgewitzers. They would have had more cover there. Maybe tried to catch the type or the E4 that was there. But pushing straight through the lanes, you have so much crossfire, you take so much damage. It's just not happening, you know. And they make it a good effort here, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think
enough.
sitting on the other side of the camp would almost be more advantageous for them, because now the RHM just reset them from behind. The type was already relatively close. It was pushable for a little while.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can see it in the damage though. Mirage, he pushed out into the open, got absolutely deleted, and the damage from hit is nice and consistent. I mean, there's no... I mean, Monster didn't do that much, but he was on the field. The light is the light, and the rest of the team all over 3K. I mean, it's a solid performance. It's damage split across the board is good. You know, it means that everyone got a slice of cake.
Yeah, everybody getting a slice of the cake, and nobody really struggling out. Monsters does the least there because, you know, he was also taking the strike on the field, so can't really blame him for that. You know, when you're in a BZ that far away from the fight.
I mean, it's kind of nice when one of your fighting tanks is out of game and you're still winning so consistently. Like, there was no real point in this game where you were scared for hit and run. Even with a tank out the game and one less fighting tank in the RHM.
I think they're just pushing the wrong side. Like, they have to go for the type almost and overrun him when he.
I mean, I'd agree, but it still is a type. It's like
sure, but like
all three of them pen it.
They waited so long that the Fosh Bees were ready for Marash to drive out of the factory and drive into his death.
Yeah, I'm a bit interested why he went alone. Maybe it was a bit of a miscall. They didn't have the... I think because of the E4 play, when you saw the E4 push away the two BZs, they didn't spot both the Foshers crossing. So maybe Marash thought there was less there than there actually was, and then got surprised by the double Foshers. His teammates stop, he's already committed, and it just kind of collapses from there. Like, but again, I agree with you. Like, they should. It's much better to push that other side. You're facing one type, maybe an E4 as well. I mean, it's a lot of meat to chew through, but like, it's more doable.
Well, first round on the board for hit and run. Two more will give them a quick 3-0. It's possible in this one. Honestly, playing against hit and run in like this regular season kind of vibe, they're very good at these matches, especially against these worst opponents on paper.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, you know, you trade Call Me Piotr, arguably one of the best FCs in Europe. You trade him for Barbarian, arguably one of the best FCs in Europe. It doesn't get any easier. So there's no negative trade. Each player, they've played with each other so long, they've been so dominant for so long. They know what they're doing. It's like clockwork. So it's so hard to dent that armor. Like, you have to either catch them out, which happens so rarely, or get lucky, which again, your chances of getting lucky against hit and run are not that high.
Second game, Volgas 60 TP, Type 5, no 60 TP, Type 5 heavy, double for Tiryu, double Bliska, first BN and E4, again, an aggressive stance.
Yeah, hit and run, BZ, one type, one CS, a 140, double Fosh B, and that RHM yet again. Different player this time though. It was Ketsai last time, now it's Monster.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, maybe it's on spawn, maybe it's on feeling, but, you know, Ketsai can play those lights. Monster is their main light player though these days.
Might be getting this times too, for the field mods.
Training experience for Bork and Kafer. No, first up, towards the field, 6 tanks from hit and run, and plane hits on 3 from Volgas.
You can kind of see with hit and run's playstyle, they go for that field every time because they're confident on that field, you know. I feel like if you play towards the cap, because the field, a lot of things can go wrong on the coal piles. There's a lot of bushes, a lot of ridges, people get caught out, a lot of things can happen. I feel like if you're confident, you go to the coal piles. If you're not, you kind of go towards that cap. Because you're a bit closer together, you can support each other a bit better, you've got the cap there. But obviously it's harder because you don't have the map control. Monster peeking high, doesn't get spotted. Ketsai shoots to do a spot check to see if he gets spotted. This will basically confirm that there's nothing on that field right now.
Ketsai will get 2 strikes out of this 1 strike, potentially, right? With the mini strike as well. Now Marash and Janus pushing past the cap, only now getting started. And there, of course, is a possibility here, I would say, to triple cap and put a lot of pressure, but they're continuing to push through right now.
Yeah, they didn't take that E1 strike, so they do want to try and catch something, and it looks like it's going to be Tizek, but that's not that easy to That's a lot of meat to chew through right there. 4,200 HP. Only Gava going close. Seems he's being a bit left alone there.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta stick to the classics and put a little bit of cap pressure. I feel like that's what they're missing right now. I mean, the only Danny is on it, and the 4 to the user now pushing down 1-2 line as well. But they're so over-focused on trying to find a pick that there was no middle strike for Vulgus. You know what that means. I know what that means. It means they can really reset 1, maybe 2 with the mini strike. But it would have been a lot of pressure and force hit and run to make a move. But right now, with only Danny capping, there's no pressure.
Yeah, the thing is as well is that they're not doing anything. They're not applying cap pressure, and they're not making a move either. It looked like the call was to go for Tizek. Gava made the play, and then nobody else followed him. Kind of similar with Maresh in the previous game. Just feels a bit disjointed. They don't know what they want to do. They don't know if they want to cap. They don't know if they want to push. They went aggressive. Then the 430s went and took the strike late. And now it looks like they want to push out Franek. But Franek has a lot of open ground between Franek and his enemies.
I mean, Garva is in a bad position altogether. That 140, yeah, Franek is getting pushed on, but Garva again in the Bliskovice not looking too hot. MV picking from behind, looking at some damage out, and Volgas is trading quite even so far. And DJ comes out though with the strike to pick up Garva, and they're pushing towards Franek. Ola across the open, Kunik across the open as well, and it's such a long, long way to go, and then you die if you're Kunik. Out through the open, getting absolutely demolished by all of the fire. The strike coming in as well to make Ola a one-shot, and Franek with the kill, and Volgas in round number 2 not looking that much better than round number 1. Sadly, they will not be coming out of Pilsen with anything. They're gonna leave it empty-handed. Hit and run, quick and easy work. And I think Volgas here tries too much to surprise, because triple cap pressure was for sure a possibility for a while.
Yeah, I mean, this one, it kind of felt that Vulgus weren't sure what they wanted to do. They were hoping to find a pick on that coal pile near where Ketsai is right now. Maybe there was a type there or something they could surprise. But when there was nothing there, and Tizek was too far away, they just had no play from there. They didn't know what they wanted to do. It's too much open ground to push, so they hesitate, and they're already too far forward to cap. I mean, this one kind of felt like they had one idea, and when that idea didn't come to fruition, the House of Cards just collapsed, and they had no secondary play. A lack of confidence as well, it feels like, from Vulgus. They're not doing anything decisively, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, and they're just overthinking it a little bit. Like right now, they could have definitely pressured the cap more and played from that point on.
Yeah, I mean, even then, a cap play is super hard, but you got to do something, and I feel like a cap play would have definitely been better than what they did here.
I mean, they would have forced hit and run to come close at least.
Well, yeah. But I feel like hit and run still came close, I mean, and it didn't really make that much difference, but it would have been better than what this was. I mean, 7-0, and we saw something, Kunik and Ole's push. In English, we call that the Charge of the Light Brigade push. It's just across open ground, getting absolutely deleted. By the time you get there, you're a one-shot and you die anyway, so... Yeah, I mean, their map pick, and it didn't look good. Now moving into Ensk, and we'll see if they can make something work here.
Will be tough. Will be tough for them. Yeah, Ensk coming out, hit and run, cruising so far. That would put them on 10 points. And what is our last match of the day again? It was an interesting one, right? It was W versus Mafia, no?
Yeah, W versus Mafia, which should be fairly interesting.
What did we have? What did we have? It was 5 teams that had 7 points. CTR is going to stay on 7 because they lost. Cashback is up to 10. Hit and Run is probably going to put themselves on 10 as well. And then between Mafia and W, we'll see like kind of... We're going to get some split. I mean, it's impossible that those 5 would remain the same after today.
Yeah, we'll start to see who's going to be taking the first place and who's going to be dropping down a little bit. But, I mean, we still got to play the Ensk, and I don't know, I feel like Vulgus, they're going to find a bit of teeth in this Ensk. I don't think they're going to win it, but I think it's going to be a closer affair than Pilsen. And Pilsen was simply just a collapse. It was just a... I mean, I think both games were 7-0. It was... No, not 7-0 in the first one, but it might as well have been. It wasn't close. But I feel like there's going to be a lot more... It's going to be a closer affair in Ensk, but I'm still sticking with my 3-0 prediction. I haven't seen anything in these previous 2 games that shows me that Vulgus are going to take anything from Hit.
Nah, so far not. Vulgus still, of course, have a possibility to make it to stage 2, but every match day that goes on, you know, this is the halfway point, right, for stage 1, because you play 7 matches, this is your 4th match, you have 3 more after this. If you lose all 4, you're looking at having to pick up, in Volgus' case, 2 out of those last 3 matches. I'm not entirely sure who they're going to play either in those.
I mean, Hit are probably the favorite to win this tournament at the moment. In my opinion, it's either Hit or W.
They were the favorite last season as well, and that didn't really work out. Well, yeah.
But that's why you used to have favorites. Like, favorite doesn't mean they're going to win it. I actually think W will win this season. I think W are actually got one of the strongest teams, actually. But, I mean, in this game, we just need to see this one and
let's see. Let me see who's Volgus still playing though after this as well. Lineups: Volgus, double BZ, 140, double Bliska, double Fush B.
Hit and run, 1 type, a 140, triple Fush B, and double E4.
Alright, so Volgus has... Okay, Volgus honestly has some... They have Lotus left, W left, and Weekend left.
I mean, there's definitely points there. If they beat Lotus and they beat Weekend, like with 3-0s, there's potential there. W, I think it's going to be a similar affair to Hit and Run, but I mean, we're going to have to see how much damage is done in this game.
Grennick trying to get some damage from towards Franek, not succeeding. Now, a lot of tanks in the city here for Volgus that quad TD push, double Fush B, double Bliskavitz's Barbarian. I think we'll get a good look here at Marash driving down, maybe even a few shots on towards him as well. First one not connecting, the second one does. Marash will swing into safety. So Barbarian instantly grabbing the reload. It's a shot for free, and most importantly, it's a level 2 on the ability.
Yeah, and a lot of info as well. Like, even though they don't take, well, they're about to get the information tower now. Barbarian pulls back into a safer position. By the time they push onto him, he'll be reloaded, but I feel like Hit and Run have some tanks out. There's a potential here for Volgus to make some kills, but this is not going to be easy. This is a push into a lot of enemy tanks.
It is a hard march. Monster still has 4 shots left. Maybe that's a little bit over-eager for Monster. Pops the abilities, forced back around the corner. Now Ketsa coming in as well. Marash trying to trade out with the Barbarian, but he needs Ola, who also had his ability active. Marash will need to bail out of this in a second to not die during the healing part of his ability. Marash, it would be time to bail. They actually don't need to bail. They find the kill, but Danny is pretty much tracked there as well on a bad angle. Then the Bliskavica, you can see him trying to get a shot, but will not succeed. But Volgus down 4,000 yet again. Envy boosting him behind with the BZ, but he's on a 1-shot. Garva, not much better. He's on a 2-shot. They want to find Monster. Garva is about to come off reload. Can he do it before he goes down? One more shot will put either of them out of the grave, but Monster's starting to heal up, so he will not fall. He does get the shot, but it's not going to be enough. Volgus, though, can still do something here. Monster goes down to Marash, so it is an even fight, but the HP is still very dire, and Kunik getting run down by Ketsai in that Fosh B. It's a scary thing to see coming your way. Does not let that one go the other way. Picks up the kill, and with that, Hit and Run will make it a quick and easy 3-0.
Yeah, and more importantly, our predictions are correct, so points on the board. Keyhand goes down. But it's similar to how I predicted just before the game. I did feel Volgus would show a bit more bite in this game, but the result the same. It's closer than you would have anticipated. For the initial damage that Volgus took going in, this is pretty close. Sub 4k HP, only 3 tanks left, one of those on a 1-shot. Like, there was potential here for Volgus. A little bit of potential. Maybe a bit of overconfidence by Hit and Run, but I think something could have happened here. With some divine intervention.
We need a lot of divine intervention for something to happen there, though. Like, I think God would have to come down himself, or
call all the prophets.
With all the angels.
Yeah.
Maybe even the fallen ones will have to come.
Yeah.
But no, it's, you know, Hit and Run, clean and easy, I guess.
Yeah, it's just another day at the office. We go play Onslaught now. Like, it's not nice to say, but it wasn't unexpected. It was probably, I'd have to say, Volgus are probably the lowest seeded team. I believe that Lotus on paper are stronger than Volgus, and I'd say Hit are probably the strongest seeded team.
I would say Hit is the strongest team in regular season. In regular season, I will not. I will not extend this to the playoffs because for some reason they are a terrible playoffs team because they aren't able to win it.
Well, I mean, we asked them the regular season, so.
I mean, like to be honest, it's like not that bad for them either. Like they're not that terrible in the regular season, in the playoffs, right? But they're not winning. So being second quite often is not that great either.
No, but like what we can say is this result was not unexpected.
No, this
like
one,
Volgus gave it a good shot.
it's not where
They wanna
Volgus
fight.
is supposed to get points, right?
No, of course not. Like this is one where you test some things, it's like training, but very short training, you know? Like you're here just to, because you're contractually obliged to play, and then you go and get your points in Lotus on weekend. So we'll need to see if they can pick some more up in the next coming days.
Well, that was it from Volgus in this one. We'll see them again on the next play day. But after the replay segment, we are going to have one banger of a match. It's going to be top of the board, Mafia versus W. Which one comes out ahead? We'll find out after the replays.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the last match of the day. And I think sometimes it is good to keep the best for last. Mafia versus W is hopefully going to deliver. But first of all, we want to thank Surfshark for being the official sponsor of the Onslaught Legends Series Season 5. And we are very happy to have them supporting the tournament. Surfshark, for those of you who still do not know, are a VPN service that helps keep your connection secure and private. Whether you're gaming, traveling, or browsing online, it works on unlimited devices and is fast and easy to use, exactly what gamers need. They've also prepared a special offer specifically for you, our dear viewers. Just go to surfshark.com/OLS or use OLS, the code at checkout, to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. You can find all the details and everything else in the clickable banner below the stream. That one also should have this picture here. And I believe, Banter, you have some good stuff to say about them as well, right? And this is not even chilling out.
Yeah, this is genuinely not. Like, I used Surfshark when I lived in China for a few years. Genuinely completely perfect. You can connect to anywhere around the globe. If I want to watch something in the US or the UK, if I want to browse Instagram or anything like that, like Surfshark worked perfectly, so it was fantastic. It's really great VPN service to use, especially if you go into those awkward countries.
Those awkward countries like the UK, you mean? Where if you want to call someone a turd over the internet, you need a VPN now?
Listen, I'm just happy that we have internet, okay? I have 11 upload in London, so let me be happy with it.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, though, the upcoming match, it's going to be Mafia versus W. 2 very, very tried and proven teams. 2 teams that have met each other in China as well during WCI. And both of them as well with with OLS titles to their name. First of all, the team of Mafia here, with all their beautiful WCI pictures. Who are you making out to be the favorite here?
I think W, actually. I mean, in the last few years, Mafia's always been like, you know, the bridesmaid, never the bride. When everyone thinks about those strong Polish teams, your mind always goes to Hit. But I feel like actually Mafia are very, very rated. I think they're really good. But
I mean, they are reigning OLS and WCI champions, so
exactly.
I think they've kind of grown out of this
the shadow
second in command kind of thing. But yeah, here, player comparisons. Orzhek against Clarf. Orzhek more the damage dealer with the E4 pen ratio of 91.2. That is very, very high, even for OLS standards, with above 4,000 damage per game, whereas Clarf with the Rheinmetall still pulling his weight, though. Of course, the pen ratio is not going to be as great with the limited pen that the RHM has, but, you know, 3.2k DPG as light tank player, very, very good regardless.
Look at that KD on Clarf as well, 4.7. Every time he dies, he kills almost 5 tanks. Like, that's an impressive one.
I mean, that stat obviously is skewed as well by the fact that if your team wins a lot and you don't die a lot, well, you don't have a lot of deaths.
Well, it's still a skill not to die.
That's true. That's true. And community predictions, we were talking about it, but basically split right down the middle, 53 to 47. Let's call that a 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, I still favor W for this season. I feel like you got to think about the player changes. You swap Call Me Piotr for Frugo, and you have to debate, do you think who's the better FC, Frugo or Call Me Piotr? I think it has to be Piotr just because of the years of leadership experience that he has. So I still favor W here. I think they're a better, stronger team, especially adding Mentos to the lineup. You've got the GOAT Jakefa as well. So I do think they'll take this match, and I've predicted it as well.
Then again, W, they have had their greatest successes under Frugo, where they won the OLS not once, but twice, back-to-back. But those times feel like they're very, very long gone at this point in time. First of all, let's take a look at the pick and ban here, though. Cliff and Ents getting removed. We are starting on Sand River, which is a map where Mafia is very known to get quick early advantages, namely kill advantages, and then they just sit tight and don't give an inch to the enemy team. W responding with Muravanka, which is coincidentally the map where they pioneered the rat strategy against Mafia's Polish brothers of hit and run. And if we get to it, which I hope we do, because this could be a spicy matchup, the tiebreaker would be Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, some good map choices. I think Mafia do like Sandriver, W. They're well known for those angles on Moravanka, especially in the middle where there's so many like little fences and things that can block heat shots. They've trained incredibly hard to get those angles for decaps and multiple sides. And Himmelsdorf is a nice, fair tiebreaker. Neither side really having a massive advantage since the changes, and I think we're up for a competitive match. I think we're going to see some nice fights on Sandriver, some good rotative play on Moravanka, and maybe even a nice brawl on Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, I think that's maybe also why both teams kind of left it open to the end, because at the end of the day, the tiebreaker is just the map that doesn't get picked or banned and is kind of left over. And both teams here leaving it open means that they're both fine with playing it. I think it's also good as a tiebreaker map because it isn't really biased in the biggest way, shape, or form. Whereas Sandriver, some people say that either side could be favored, to be honest. Although, really, in the, I believe, season sort of stats, at least from last season, and there haven't been like huge changes on Sandriver, it wasn't really that obvious, I don't think.
No, they had a rock near the strike in the north. I think I still prefer the eastern side just because of that K-line advantage, but it's still about 50-50, especially with the meta. I mean, if we look at the predictions here, us three have gone for W victories, with Daki going for Mafia. He's trying to reclaim some points. I believe he is at the bottom of the prediction scores, but let's look at the lineups.
Well, let's see the lineups. W without their secret weapon, Jackify is not going to be playing. Instead, double BZ75, a 140, triple 430U, and Nepal playing that STRB.
Yeah, Jakefa's like a trump card at the end, but Mafia's lineup: 1 BZ, IS7, M5Y, Centurion, E50M, STRV, and RHM, one of each. Nice varied lineup. The Cent is an interesting choice though. No 140, taking the Cent, M5Y as well, we don't see that a lot. So, they're being a bit varied.
Yeah, the Centurion, of course, compared to the 140, does have the additional gun depression, the additional alpha as well, and especially on a map like Sandriver, with all of those dunes, the gun depression can come in handy, but the 140, of course, hold down just that little bit sturdier as we see the openings. IOS immediately driving towards the artillery tower in the middle of the map, whereas Mentos, Itox, and Lukin drive towards the cap. That is a lot of committed resources in the south of the map, where they are now putting a lot of pressure into Mafia with this cap attempt. As Yuzek and Kono, they are the ones in the south. They would have the angles. I don't think there is any neutral objective that Mafia could be taking here to be resetting with the strikes, but Klurf needs to be very careful with the 430. A lot of shots going in towards the buildings of that strike, as well as the cap goes down to 7 seconds, but in comes the reset from Kono, who bleeds for it though.
Yeah, I mean, you can see what W want to do in the beginning. They try and take those two strikes, BZ in the south to decap the southern strike with SGRV covering him so he doesn't get overpushed. It's a nice opener, but Kono taking that M5Y can't get those decap angles. Lukin had the strike, but had the points, but Pufus has now decapped him, and now we have to see how long W going to hold this cap for, because the longer it holds on for, the longer they can get punished for it, especially as these buildings start to get taken out.
And you can see Lukin is trying to find more and additional buildings, but Mafia, professional destruction company, just breaking all of those houses in the cap down. Lukin having to trade now with Yuzek in the IS-7 is down towards 658. Still shots going towards him, and he's continuously spotted from YOLO, I believe, who just keeps on planing the cap. This means that all those tanks here are very vulnerable, and I think W are starting to falter a little bit with the 430U down towards a one-shot. Continuous resets coming in from the MBY as well. I don't think their opener is working out right now.
No, it seems W didn't read the story of the big bad wolf when they were young. You know, you huff and puff, you blow those houses down, and Lukin is gonna die eventually, so a play needs to be made. You can see that Klurf is making that play in the north, trying to isolate Conrad, but that light tank of YOLO, he can come into support. It's really hard for Klurf to push this. Lukin goes down, and they're still sitting in this cap. There's a point where, you know, we call it a trigger needs to be pulled, a decision needs to be made where you have to leave the cap, otherwise you're just going to get farmed. Like, Kono is not getting punished enough for these shots. Piotr's not even peeking to decap Yuzek. It's just slowly collapsing for W. There's no decisive play anywhere right now.
I mean, the artillery strike is going to ease the pressure for W momentarily because the reset strike is not going to be available for quite a few seconds as Nepal, even with that STRV starting to come in, is spotted. That means his ability, of course, is not going to help him. Piotr trading it out with Yuzek, but there's just so many tanks in support. This trade is never going to go in his favor. The STRV as well from Nepal cannot really stay there because the Centurion of Profuse keeps on pounding into that direction, as well as Mentos takes more damage in the cap. It doesn't look good for W at this point in time.
No, it doesn't. I mean, Nepal was cosplaying an assault TD, but I mean, he just kind of ran away after getting shot a few times. Piotr now is quite low HP, has to peak to get the decaps, but it's just not happening. And the cap is getting high though, 8 seconds. We didn't think it could happen, but decap comes in on Mentos, and now Itox has the entire cap all to himself. 1 decap, and this game is going to absolutely collapse for W.
Yeah, and then comes YOLO with that RHM, of course, probably running CBS, sees the 430U through the bush decaps, and that is all the pressure that W had in the cap, just completely and entirely gone. Yuzek will also finally, I think, be able to snatch up the artillery strike because Piotr probably doesn't want to peek those anymore. Indeed, Yuzek is going to take the artillery strike, might even put it on the cap. That's a nice strike onto 2 that cannot mitigate the damage taken even, and you can see they're starting to abandon the cap. Itox taking another one on the way out as the artillery strike tags Mentos, makes him a one-shot for just about anything.
Yeah, the info tower taken, but I think it's just going to show W's deaths. I mean, it's already too late. They stayed in this cap far too long for so little gain. I mean, Yuzek down to 2-shot by anyone, but not killable. Profus so chunky with that health. Kono also 600, but I just don't see a way back into this game for W. 3k down, a tank down, not fantastic positions, no real tangible advantage that you could speak of. It's just, and it's nice by Mafia as well. You see the way YOLO's playing. He comes into the mid, he gives that decap shot, he runs, he doesn't get caught, doesn't, you know, extend his hand too far into the mouth of the crocodile, but there's just really minimal things that W can do right now to get back into this game, especially with so much HP being on Nepal.
I mean, Klurv did manage to take 1 of the artillery strikes, the one in the north that is, but the problem for W is that not only are they down in HP, they actually don't have anyone on the enemy team that is one-strikeable. And that is a huge issue because W are playing against the time as well. Mafia, because they're up a kill, don't really need to do anything. Instead, they're just going to opt for those neutral objectives as well. Ios is taking an info tower, so maybe that might be something for him. I'm not sure if he got reset here, actually, though. Seems
I think
to be
he did
like
by the
it.
Rheinmetall.
Oh.
Yeah, YOLO got the plane on him.
And yeah, well, another kill going through for the team of Mafia as well. They're starting to take damage on Conrad, but maybe that was just the strike as Klurv is here and able to pick it up. Good shot through the little gap there, but still, W are behind. They're trailing.
Yeah, I mean, yes, the kill was made, but arguably it was the least pointless tank for Mafia. It was Conrad in the BZ, 700 HP in the north of the map. I'm quite surprised because Klurv has most of W's HP. I expected Mafia to pull the trigger when Mafia's most healthy tank was out of the game, but seems they're just kind of slowing this down. They have the tank advantage, 3 minutes. They don't really need to do anything, which is quite a surprise. It feels like one of those, you know, when you become stale, that's when a game can be thrown, but I don't think this is really throwable for Mafia. Piotr in a bad position, he will go down at some point. There's going to be no real tangible return. The STRV will have to run after Piotr dies because Profus has too much HP. It's going from bad to worse at the moment.
I mean, Piotr catching a tiny little break as he's able to not get killed from Profuse. The shot probably going a little bit low in towards the tracks, but still he is spotted. And Profuse is on the hunt. Another bounce onto the BZ-75. But regardless, Mafia is on 9.5k HP. W only 6.5k. And about to be another tank down as Profuse finally commits for the one-on-one. Does take a shot of damage, but probably doesn't care either. And here we see maybe the last hurrah coming through by W in this first round on Sand River, as they're all going to be ganging up on towards Profuse for all the good that's going to do. Another reset on the strike, but that was YOLO. He's very healthy.
Yeah, Profuse doesn't peak high though. He will get surprised and he will get taken out, but I mean, this is the only lifeline they have, and it's possible now, actually. Profuse will die next to for free. So, now, kills are not even, but there is a way now back into this game. 2 minutes, Yuzek is low HP, Kono on a one-shot, they're retreating him, and same with Yuzek, so no one gets caught. But, still a lot of bleed though, but only about 1.5k HP remaining in between. It's almost doable.
Grasping at straws a little bit, because Yuzek is always going to be a hold down there. He will have Orzhek in that STRV in support as well. Keep in mind, throughout all of this, Mafia have had YOLO alive in that RHM, who also has an artillery strike right now to work with. So if he gets any kind of damage to follow this up, he's going to have another plane available. And yeah, Mafia are just doing a very good job of running down the clock. Yes, Profuse was caught out in a situation that he should never be in, realistically. That was a misplay, in my opinion. But they are so well and truly ahead at this point in time that it doesn't matter. YOLO even using the strike here to put it on towards Ios, resetting the artillery strike. He does get a plane out of it. He's going to spot Yos. He does get spotting damage for it as well. That means replane available, and it's just going from bad to worse to terrible for W.
Yeah, you can see the end game play there by W. It wasn't a bad one. Ios was going to get a strike. Itox was going to get a strike. They were going to double strike Yuzek and kill him. I mean, now Itox will place the strike on Yuzek. Yuzek will die, so there will be kill parity. But Klurf goes down for it. Ios will probably die, given YOLO some time, but the kills now are in Mafia's favor, so they're going to run. So it was a nice desperation play at the end there. If they got both the strikes, killed Yuzek and hid, maybe win it based on damage dealt, but there was no real other way back into this game anymore, and now it's just gonna... This game won't go out with a bang, it'll go out with a whimper, and that's W going into the next round.
Man, imagine Nepal hits one of those blind shots at the end to take out the MBY. That would be absolutely crazy, but it's not gonna happen, and this means Mafia, after a full-on 10 minutes here, are going to crown themselves with the first win of the match. But W, they made them work for it. They almost got the break at the end, but alas, it was not to be. Good effort, though.
Yeah, I think if they got kill parity, I still think Mafia dealt more damage. I think W had the healthier lineup. To be honest, I was not a fan of W's strat. The cap fast strat can work, but there's a point where you push off the cap. Lucan just died for free, and then they kept sitting in the cap, just bleeding to the M5Y. There was no actual play. The fact that this game was as close as it was, I'd actually say is more a testament to how good W is rather than how good Mafia is, actually. I really feel like W were in the... Mafia were in the better position for this entire game, and it was still very close. So I feel that it's the first round, but I feel like W almost got a moral victory with how badly they played, but how well they played, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, as I said, I think Profuse getting caught out there in that Centurion completely opened up the door again for W, but I think it was too little too late. And it all comes off of this basically all-in cap play that they tried, and to be honest, it went horribly wrong. Like one of the tanks from W just went out without really having a say in the matter, and it isn't really his fault. Like, yeah, I mean, the buildings, there's only so many of those. And if they get destroyed in your permaplane, what are you meant to do? You can really only abandon cap and try to limit the damage.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's, you know, we all learned about the big bad wolf, right? You huff and puff, you blow those houses down, and yeah, the mosque is indestructible, but Lucan wasn't there. So he was just in the open. He had to keep moving from like little building to little building. And there's a point where you run out of little buildings and you just die. And there was no reaction. I feel like there needed to be... W needed to do something. They needed to leave the... Normally the players, you leave the cap, you boost with BZs off the cap into the K line. And you make something work from there. But there just wasn't anything. They just sat there and... I mean, they kind of bled the M5Y. Like, they kept shooting Kono whenever he would peak. But he was dealing damage as well. So it was kind of parity. And with a bit of advantage towards Mafia. Just... I don't know, it was a weird round by W. They just stayed in that cap for far too long.
And I mean, here we see the stats as well from this round. A lot of damage coming out from Clerv. That is 6,000. And I mean, Nepal also not doing too badly, but I think the problem right from the get-go was this failed cap attempt where Mafia just had all the assets in all the right places to be continuously providing resets. You could see the MBY also with that HE. I mean, if he has a small or the big gun, it doesn't matter. The HE is going to deal damage, and that means the reset. And from there on out, it's just an uphill battle for W. And, well, they weren't able to take it anymore at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, you see the two lowest damages by W. They did 1,000 combined. It was both the 430s in the cap. The 430 in the north, he basically farmed the BZ, like completely. So about half his damage is kind of inconsequential. But you see Profus, even though he made the mistake, he was the damage dealer. He did almost 6,000. So apart from that endgame mistake, it was still a nice game by Profus. And now we go into the next one. I mean, I still believe that the eastern side of the map is favored on Sand River. I know some people might disagree with it, but I just like those K-line positions, and now W are going to have it. And I feel like we're going to see a slap back from W. I feel like the strat was off in that first round, but the players weren't. And I feel like we're going to see that in this round. I think W are going to win this round.
Well, let's see as we are starting to hop into that one. W trying to come back from this 0-1 deficit now with an IS-7 triple E50M, double K91, and the RHM.
Yep, on Mafia's side, double BZ, triple 50M, a 430, and a UDAS 15/16. Double K91 key. How do you feel about that?
I think on Sand River it can actually work, to be honest. It has quite a bit more alpha than, for example, the Centurion, and vastly more alpha than the 140. And also, like, the hydropneumatic suspension, like, it can be annoying sometimes, but the additional gun depression that it offers, especially if you're, like, playing the Crown or for example, the dunes in the south, it can come in super handy. You can also see Mafia here destroying a lot of those destructible buildings in the north artillery strike, but it's not going to help them this time. W have different plans.
Yeah, Nepal with that nice camo rating gets the info. I mean, the problem with the 15/16 is there's only really one position it can play. It always plays where Profus plays. And W with this double K91, I mean, I'm not that much of a fan of the tank. Very high DPM, but there's a lot of ridges on Sand River, and rear turreted tanks don't work well with ridges, with gun depression.
The turret is fully rotatable now, so you can kind of make it work, but yeah, it is, or it tends to be a little bit annoying at least. As Mentos gets the first shot on towards Yuzek here, but this time it's kind of flipped around, right? Mafia trying to cap Nepal gets found in that middle strike, but he gets away with it even without taking damage.
Yeah, I mean, one strike each, so this singular cap attempt isn't going to work, but we have this big play in the north now with these E50Ms crossing with Clerf. They want to try and catch Kono, but we need to see how much damage they take from this. Not that much, actually. Profus doesn't connect. Rexel's going to be in the base, so Kono has pretty good cover now, and I don't know, I don't feel like this is the play at the moment. I feel like you bleed a lot for this.
Well, let's see. Kono is going to fend off against a very, very angry Itox, but that one drives into the crossfire and bleeds a hell of a lot of damage for that, because there's the double funny button medium from the base as well that's able to put the hurt. And Kono, he looks isolated, but he really isn't able to push put another shot in towards Ios in that E50M. But now gets tagged here by both Itox and Ios, but they're also starting to take damage on the way out here. Kono and Itox and Ios here are in a battle, but Kono has so much more support from so many more angles. Even Profus now trying to help out. At W, it looks like those E50Ms have bitten off more than they can chew.
It's a really surprising thing by W to make this play. They have the light tank. You'd expect that they would play a little bit slower, but they went for this aggressive play and it just hasn't worked out. When they ran away, they aimed towards the RHM. Did you notice that? I thought that was a little bit strange. I feel like the RHM might have flipped there. But they shot at him as well. It was very peculiar. But either way, you can see that this northern play just did not work out. 250Ms lost nearly for free. And now that the repush is happening on this side, Mentos probably will go down in a moment. Piotr explodes there And it's gonna be Mafia's round yet again. My predictions are out the window.
Absolutely, and you can see Mentos, he has a lot of DPM, he has a quick reload, but against the funny button of the E50M, it's basically parity with the E50M having the higher alpha damage, and once again Mafia are just relaxing, easing the pressure a little bit now, and just, you know, I mean, they're up so much. 4 tanks, 6,000 HP maybe, and I mean, now it's just cleanup operation, mop-up time, a good shot by Nepal into Kono, but it's not going to change absolutely anything. Yuzek is going to take another strike. That is another neutral objective in the pocket, and I think Mafia are just going to be running it down now to get all of those pesky W tanks out of the game.
This was such a weird one. It felt like W just gave Mafia the victory. Mafia didn't even need to do anything. Like, if you have a light tank, you normally want to play slowly, and they just went for the aggressive play in the north, and it simply didn't work out. The play by those two E50Ms, IOS and Itox, it was peculiar. That when they ran away, they didn't even look towards Kono in the 50M. They were looking towards B7 and the light tank. That's what makes me think he flipped. I might need to watch the replay on it, but
I think it might also just be the turret bug, to be honest. But
oh,
we'll
maybe.
See. Nepal is trying to sell himself as well as he can, but the PZ-75, oh, he is going to touch tips with Nepal. He's not even going to kill him with the ram, and Nepal thus profits by getting a little bit more damage, but it's not gonna matter. Mafia make short, and in the second round, absolutely easy work of W7-0. That is a beatdown.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even need to work hard for it, you know? It's like being fed. That they made the aggressive play when they had the light, which just feels unnecessary. You want to play that slow game when you don't have those combat tanks. You have 2 K91s as well, and these tend to be kind of like more STRV style rather than E50M. You want them to be sniping and generating strikes. Just quite a peculiar one. Kind of felt like it went against the flow, and you can see it in the damage here. Like, YOLO didn't even play the game. He did 63 damage. It's like they won it with 6. It was just a strange one.
That was the kill at the end even. So realistically, Kono, YOLO didn't really contribute. He was probably elsewhere trying to, you know, hold a position that he was sent to. But W just, you could almost say, suiciding themselves here in the north into the waiting arms and guns of Mafia. And that is very strange considering the opening where W got the info tower and they have the light tank, but they just don't make it work. And this means that Mafia starting strong into this match. W already up against the match point, and I'm pretty sure this was W's pick. Let's take another look at the pick and ban to confirm. Mafia's pick. All right, so they got their own map 2-0. That makes it maybe a little bit better for W, but the fact remains, it's 2-0, it's match point.
Yeah, I don't feel like Mafia won, I feel like W lost. I mean, it's kind of like they got the info in the beginning, and then they just expected Mafia to stay in those positions, and they wanted to get that free pick, and it just didn't happen. It's a strange one, but anyway, Muravanka, we know what W can do on Muravanka. It's their pick, so they've got to have something prepared, and I think we're going to have a good game here. I'm a personal fan of the rat tactic. I used to love it back when I played 15v15 against a clan I could easily beat. I used to tell them to take full bat shots because it requires a lot of skill, you know, lightly armored tanks, reloads. It's the highest skill level you can play in World of Tanks because every player cannot get caught. You get one tank caught, it's over. Like, the rat tactic collapses. So this type of tactic requires a lot of player skill and a lot of team playing coordination. So in my opinion, it's the highest skill that you can play in World of Tanks.
Well, let's see if they are going to pull it out of the bag this time around, or if they will try to beat Mafia with a normal approach. I mean, that's also an advantage to have, right? Is being able to play multiple ways that are all very strong and just keep the opponent guessing as to which one you're going to be utilizing this time. This makes you unpredictable. This makes maybe the lineups as well regarding tanks a little bit worse for your opponent, because they just need to be prepared for a lot more possibilities. But obviously you can't be prepared for everything, one, and two, the more you try to be prepared for everything, the much worse you are going to be in specific scenarios. That being said, though, we talked a lot about the Muravanka from W. I mean, Mafia themselves are no slouches here either, and maybe they're going to surprise us with something as well, because I think we're just about to head into what might already be the last round in this, what promised to be a very, very good match, but so far it's been very one-sided. W trying to avoid defeat here with double BZ75, triple E50M, a 140, and an RHM.
Yeah, Mafia going for triple E50M, 140, two 430Us, and the Ramatar Panzerwagen. 430Us now coming actually into the meta a little bit more. And in the start of the season, we didn't really see them. It was all 50M domination, but we're starting to see that the low profile and the camo value, that 430U, can be a valuable asset.
And I think as well with that more alpha, 50 more alpha than the E50M, you end up trading quite a bit better normally. But yeah, the Mafia lineup is kind of crazy. This is an all or nothing, all in lineup because, well, except for the Inspire Medium and the RHM, they don't really have a whole lot. But funny, but Medium says iOS is going to go on the info tower and is going to get shielded by Piotr here as the plane comes in. That is going to be a very expensive info tower, but they get it regardless. And Piotr doesn't even take that much damage, to be honest.
No, it wasn't that expensive, actually. I mean, 2 shots, it's survivable. Piotr will probably heal some more later on. But you have to see the lineups. Like, Mafia don't have any meat in the lineup. It's kind of like the rat tactic, but a little bit of a fatter rat. A guinea pig tactic, we can call it. Like, you don't have leopards, you just have 50Ms. So it's like kind of pseudo-heavies. Oh, yeah. So we need to see. Like, there's no meat in the lineup. No BZs, no Type 5 for the middle. And I think W have kind of noticed this. They've slammed on the brakes. There's nobody to catch in the middle. You know, they have these BZs on the left and right side of the church, so maybe they can boost in and catch someone. Like, that's not going to happen. So now they're kind of settling in. And I feel like W, they're 2-0 down. They don't want to make a move. They'll probably go back and take that radio tower again at some point. And I mean, it's going to be a slow one.
I am a little bit concerned by the fact that Mafia right now are giving up a lot of map control to be concentrating their tanks in the northeastern part of the map. They do have Yuzek and Rexa as well as Conrad spread out, but Conrad even evacuating from the middle in that E50M. So I guess Mafia will be trying to overrun the east here. They are indeed on a timer because the info tower once again is up for the grabs. And as soon as W will try and take that, it's going to be problematic for the team of Mafia because their entire lineup, their whereabouts are going to be known. iOS unable to take the info tower right now, but that was the only thing preventing him from taking it. Kind of used with the plane of YOLO. He does get a replane, was able to get some damage somewhere on the map, but now in the forest, the first tanks do get spotted immediately. Lukin starts to evacuate at least the forward brawling position as Clerv here is also going to get caught out. Mafia just starting to swarm in the east here as W is scrambling there as well with those BZ75s, but in a long shootout those tend to not have any DPM. Lukin in the corner seemingly spotted as well, trying to provide crossfire. That's the info plane from YOLO here. Inspire's getting popped by both teams as Clerv is just gonna get overrun. Conrad taking a huge chunk of damage, but Mafia, they just have more DPM in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to run away. Lukin managed to make it to the corner, and it's going to be expensive to take him. The BZs are coming in, and that's quite good, because it means they're not going to focus out the DPM of Lukin. They're going to focus out those BZs that have a lot of health and not that much DPM. They're the tanks you want to take the hits. This is what I said. Mafia don't have any meat in the lineup. There's no heavies to take the shots. So every tank that dies, it's a DPM tank, which is not good. You want those BZs taking the shots. And you can see here what looks like a really advantageous push by Mafia has kind of soured a little. They're still in a good position. They still have all the map control. W cannot stop here, otherwise they're going to be surrounded.
Well, Itox bouncing a crucial shot on towards Profuse as Nepal makes his way over the top, trying to tank for his team. Orzhek down towards a 2-shot as well as Profuse starts getting overrun by all of those tanks from a W here. All of a sudden, W have the advantage when it comes to the tanks, although Mafia still have an extremely healthy light tank with YOLO in that RHM. Also need to be careful, W that is, to not be losing Lukin in that E50M. The plane is going to run out at some point though, and Mafia are starting to scatter to the winds. The initial assault not working out here. Orzhek needs to be licking his wounds as well in that one-shot 140, but it still means Inspire in the game. Info tower gonna come from Yuzek. YOLO is gonna grab the second one. And all of that being said and done, W still in the advantageous position of having more tanks available, but Mafia, they have the RHM.
I mean, Orjek needs to go to church after this game, the fact that he survived that, actually. Like, and the fact that he survived it is massive. Just having that one tank that can now go take the radio tower, he can apply cap pressure. I mean, yes, I'd say even if he died, Mafia are still in the advantage. Full HP light, full HP 430. Definitely still in the advantage, but keeping that extra tank alive, you see here, more right now W just they have the tank advantage, they just want to kind of sit and let time run out, but this extra tank puts extra pressure, and now Mafia W are forced to try and take the strike, they're forced to make a play, which can make tanks get killed, can make mistakes happen, and it just applies a lot of pressure onto W right now. This is not an easy game for W to play.
Well, IOS getting spotted out here for the move towards the cap, and Mafia, they've got W on the timer, and you can see at any point in time they can just abandon the cap. The plane also goes down on towards IOS, who tries to make it away. Another shot connecting from the RHM. IOS makes it to safety, but barely. That is a dead man walking, or driving rather, and driving away. Nepal is going to get the artillery strike. That means that at least somewhat they have a reset possibility available, but those info towers will probably be the undoing of W, because they're just so easy and quick to grab. There is one in the EF1 position as well, and YOLO is probably headed there, and they are going to be hunting for IOS with maybe the strike that Yuzek might be picking up soon.
I mean, the thing is, right, what happened in that last minute? They applied cap pressure, Mafia were forced to make W were forced to make a move, W lost 1k HP, Mafia leaves the cap, and then now we're in the same position again. But Mafia W is 1k HP down. They can literally, there's over 3.5 minutes, they can just do the same thing again and again and again until W have no more HP left. It's just a net gain. 1k HP down on W, IO's down to a one-shot, so he can die to strike at any time. It's just really going from bad to worse for W. And this is the final play that they're making with this with Itox. He has most of their HP, he retakes that north control, which applies pressure onto Yuzek and YOLO. It's the only play left that can actually win them this game.
And now the shots are starting to come in. First of all, Lukin getting spotted out is now a one-shot as well. Nepal will try to get the info tower, but Yuzek already waiting for him, has the funny button active. Nepal takes a shot of damage, and Yuzek is just going to be saying thank you very much. That is one very juicy looking BZ-75, and don't mind if I do. Those were two criticals actually on towards Yuzek here, losing 2 crew members immediately, taking a lot of damage as well, fluffing the heat into the fences too, so not the best result. Yuzek taking 2,000 damage, only doing 2 hits in return. Lukin, though, spotted in the E50M, is going to try and stick it. The shot going as well, his way does not connect, so he's going to be having an artillery strike as YOLO, out of all people, gets spotted out, but no one to shoot him quite yet. Good shot by Nepal as Itox and Yuzek start crossing swords here and crossing shots as well. Both of them very, very low HP. YOLO's shot does not connect. The artillery strike on towards Yuzek makes him a one-shot, and throughout all of this, keep in mind and remember, Mafia have less tanks.
Yeah, but 2 minutes is still a lot of time. I mean, Mafia are really fumbling this late game. I mean, I still believe they'll win it. YOLO will pick up Lukin and probably IOS afterwards, but this has not been great by Mafia at all. The 430U of Yuzek, he took so long to aim that he took a lot of damage there, trying to get the heat through the fences. It's not an easy hit, but...
Yeah, he's going to be the undoing of the Yuzek, now falling as well, but now we have tank parity. It is 2 versus 2, and well, one of those 2 teams has actually a light tank as YOLO drives closer and closer. He's about to find Yos, who is in the bush here, was able to outspot the Rheinmetall, but not for long. Another kill pickup by the RHM, and all of a sudden Itox, the last tank in the game, against Mafia here, that southeastern push, but it doesn't work out. Orjek to shut it down, and Mafia with the clean 3-0 against a W that could have done maybe something on Muravanka, but Sand River certainly Mafia's territory.
Yeah, this was a massive result actually, like a straight swipe. Like, I don't know, and as well, like it just didn't feel that W had any teeth in this game, in the whole match, the San Rivers or this one. It felt like W were just behind in the entire game. The push by Mafia was spotted pretty early. The rotations were pretty late. They wanted to run. They didn't. Clerf got eliminated basically instantly. The fact that the game came this close, I feel Mafia could have actually secured this much cleaner actually. It just simply wasn't good enough by W. They need to. They are one of the favorites, and I still think they are the favorites. But they got to come back from this. It was a well played game by Mafia.
And I think here at the end, you also saw how powerful the RHM as a tank actually can be in the late game. I mean, you're down on tanks, so nominally you're using, but over time, by having the RHM, you just have such an advantage in the late game. And we see YOLO with 4,500 damage, out of which only 450 are strike damage, 2,000 assist as well. So I think the fact as well that Orzhek stayed alive in that 140 on a one-shot from the initial brawl to then go on and do top damage tells you just how crucial it can be to remove those one-shots from the game. Like, if you don't do it, it will always come back to hurt you.
Yeah, I feel like if Orzhek dies, there's something that can be done for W. Because 2 tanks alive, 1 tank in the middle just to take the strike, 2 to apply cap pressure, it applies so much pressure onto W to make a move. But if it's only the Rheinmetall capping with the 430 in the middle, that's like, what, over a minute and a half to cap out. A bit less than a minute and a half, sorry. And that just gives W so much more breathing room. So really letting the fact that Orzhek lived, like, as I said, you need to go to church after this one, because that actually was crucial to win that final game. Match.
And this means that I guess we have an undisputed new leader in the OLS. I'm pretty sure we'll soon have a look at the standings after this day, but W, who have had a pretty good streak up until now, suddenly once again it's a case of running into one of those much quoted walls. And Mafia certainly today, I think they were just so mature with what they did, never losing their temper, never losing their cool, while always, seemingly fully in control. And Mafia, with those 4 wins and a 4-win streak, are going to be on a total of 10 points. However, they are going to be only first because, they won more rounds and more matches in total. Whereas Cashback and Hit also on 10, so now we have a little bit of a separation with the top 3 all having 10. Then we have 2 with 7. Lourdes today with that victory, trying to catch up a little bit. And for Weekend and Vulgus, it's not looking good. For Weekend, actually, quite the fall off from last season's performance, where they were 3rd, even managing to creep ahead of Cashback. Now, only ahead of Vulgus because of the scores in the rounds. Yeah, coach. It's growing kind of grim.
Well, it's such a surprise that CTR can take Mafia to tiebreaker, but W don't even look like they can win a match. So it's just quite an upset. I mean, not the result, not the fact that Mafia wins is the upset, just the way they win. 3-0. It's a brutal one actually. And it puts W in a really, middle of the board position, 3 points away from the top 3.
I mean, if there is a team in the OLS that knows what it's like to fight for 4th place, to get into the playoffs, it is certainly W, but the result today is probably not what they set out to do when they woke up this morning. But yeah, overall, Mafia, dominant performance, 3-0. I mean, in between all of us, we were even split. I think only Ducky get his prediction correct?
Ducky got the score wrong, but the prediction right. He thought Mafia would win. So now he's equal on your points, and I'm still winning.
Well,
just shouting that out there.
We're never going to hear the end of it, that he was the only one predicting Mafia. But yeah, anyway, talking about Ducky, of course, after this stream, which is right now, is over, we are, of course, going to be rating him. The OLS token drops will be active on his channel as well. Feel free to leave him and give him some love over there as well with all of that. But thank you very much for your debut during the OLS here. And we are going to be seeing each other in 2 days on Thursday, same place, same time, twitch.tv/worldoftanks. Thank you once again, Surfshark, and we'll be back day after tomorrow.
See ya.